And I'm making some halftime adjustments on the fly. Yeah, wait a minute. There we go. That might work. Okay, wait. No, there we go. Yeah, that should do it for now. We'll see. We'll see how it all works out. Anyway, what's going on, everyone? It's Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And I'm back to do that. And before I do that, though, I want to make sure everybody gets a notification. I wouldn't want to be up here all by my lonesome since it's been so long since I've seen y'all. Oh, shoot. Wait a minute. Been so long. I'm missing you, baby. Little bit of Anita Baker. I won't be neglected, and I won't be denied the pleasure of your kisses, the pleasure of your smile. Yeah. Yeah, Anita. Oh, yeah, I missed that woman right there. I won't be neglected. But anyway, I'm back. And I hope that you guys find me in good health, which I am, and I'm thankful. And I hope that you are in good health, which apparently, if you're watching my show, you are. Now, let me make sure I got a notification. I did. Bam. Looks like I'm live on my other alternative phone as well. Now, I want to be able to see the chit chat. Go ahead and set that up, because sometimes YouTube won't let me see what you're saying. So I have to look sometimes through my alternative phone just to catch some of the things you might be saying that I might be missing. Now, I bet you all was wondering, did Kev quit? Did he retire? No, I haven't retired. I can never do that. I can never do that until I'm absolutely forced to. Okay. Now, I'm not going to push it past the Joe Biden stage. See, you don't want to ever, go past the Joe Biden stage where you're going, folks in your family whispering behind your back, like maybe Kev should just stop doing the YouTube thing. Yeah, I don't want to go past that. But I think I got a lot left in the tank to keep going. See, and I'm going to burn all my gas. I'm going to put the pedal to the metal. Yeah, somebody said, yeah, I was wondering. In fact, my buddy Bob, who bought my laptop for me, he even texted me today, like, what's going on? I was like, don't worry, Bob. I'm coming back. I'll be back today. He was like, good. Okay, cool. So I'm very thankful that people care enough about me to check. I even saw a couple people send me a note on a couple other videos like, Kev, where you at? And also, before I want to go too far, I want to thank Mary, once again. You're blessed, the brother. You're blessed, the brother. And I thank you so much if you're watching this show. My heart goes out to you. But yeah, work is kind of tricky. In fact, this week coming up, I'm working 12-hour shifts every day. And I'm working in the hardest area of the plant. Yeah, man. So I got to leave my normal operating line. See, I operate a steel line. I operate that line then. Now they're going to send me over to the hardest area in the plant for the last 4 hours of the day. But you know what? I'm built different, so I can handle it. I'm built different. So stick me over there. I'm going to show the young boys how to work with their hands. You know what I'm saying? How to work with your hands. But that doesn't mean it's not going to catch up with me. And I'm going to try to stick to somewhat of a schedule this week, because I'm so far behind when it comes down to these wonderful, these wonderful clips that, I wish I could have talked about last week. But I was just pooped. I was pooped. But I'm back though. Make sure I get enough rest, and get focused. Got to go in at night, hit the grind. Then I'll be back tomorrow for you guys. Then back to the grind. It's you guys get my time, then the grind. So that's all I got time for. You guys in the grind. Now, with that being said, let me go ahead and get loose since it's Sunday. And maybe some of you all are still interested in the NFL and might be watching football. So I don't want to hold you too long, especially since my team is gone. I don't care. Now that the Steelers out, I don't care. I'll take up all the time. Y'all be like, Kev, I'm trying to watch my show. I mean, that they're still at the game. I'll be like, I don't care. My team ain't playing. I'm selfish now. Selfish. Yeah, if my team ain't in it, then I'm going to go ahead and hate on everybody. All right, so let's get busy. Oh, yeah. I rock the planet. Beating my chest like a real gorilla. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Listen Kings in the building. Gorillas in here, gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Yeah, buddy, I saw somebody say, yeah, I'm 64 and I work 9-hour shifts for me. There you go. See, we're the last generation of the hard workers. Yeah, I mean, I was growing up, my grandfather, uncle, all my uncles worked in a steel mill. Them dudes would get up, take their hard lunch boxes to work with them with that canteen for the drinks, canister. Yeah, grandma get up, actually make their lunch or dinner or breakfast and stuff, pack their lunch for them. Lay their clothes out, and nobody's talking about, you know what, that right there is feminism, and you know what, we need to step in because that's sexism. No, this Henry, here's your food, baby. Make sure that Henry go off to the steel mill, come home, soot all on him, nails dark and black and dirty. And don't be making no noise while you trying to get some sleep to get up and go back to the steel mill. Don't do that. Yeah, he'll come out with the shotgun on the kids. Now these young boys, I be at work sometime looking at the young boys and I'm going, you don't realize you got a nice stable job and you're pooting and farting around. You're going to blow it, champ. You're going to blow it. Dang on it. So while I still have my health to work hard, I want to work unto the Lord. And I want to show these young people how to work with integrity. Yeah, with your hands, man. I want my hands rough enough to cut you by just going like that. Come here, man. Let me just cut the side of your face. Rough hands. Do. Now, with that being said, I'm not here to talk about my rough hands. I'm here to talk about this nonsense. But before I do that, don't forget, I got a Kevin's Corner store that you can check out some merch. Maybe if y'all start buying some merch and stuff like that, I might not have to be in the steel mill too long. And if you want to support the channel through my Cash App, my PayPal link, you can do that as well. The links are below each video. And that number on the screen, 330-974-4607, is the number that you can text me and say, hey, Kev, what's going on? If you disappeared, let us know. And I'll, try to respond. I figured I pushed it to the end. I was like, right about now, they're probably going, all right, what's going on? Do we need to follow? Yeah, I know I pushed it. I'm sorry. I even made a little short video that I was going to put up and say, hey, y'all, I'm still here, but I'm a perfectionist, see, and I ain't like the video. So I said, I'm going to have to leave them wondering what happened to me until I'm able to go live. So anyway, now we got some stuff to catch up on because, see, they just won't let this topic go. One of the major issues right now that we're facing is the effort from the left to protect their investment. See, their investment. Now, they have investments, crooked investments, all over the place. USAID was an investment. Anything they howl about, anything they go crazy about and say, this is an outrage, this right here is unprecedented, that means that's one of their investments. That's something that they use to only benefit themselves. Because, see, that is exactly how the Democrat Party operates. Everything is designed to benefit the party or individuals in the party. So anything that Trump does, they're going to whine about it, most likely because, one, it is something that they use to wield power, or two, it's something that is good for everybody, but it makes Trump look good. So therefore, they have to oppose it anyway, even if it doesn't really, hurt them or anything. Like, getting Maduro out of there, unless you were getting kickbacks from Venezuela or something like that, you really had no reason to get upset about that. I mean, you wasn't benefiting off of Venezuela. However, you knew that if you're a Democrat politician, you knew that if Trump was to do this successfully, he would gain favor with a lot of, immigrants, Venezuelans, and even a lot of Americans. They would look at him as, man, this man's decisive. He's tough. He went in, he got it done. We're not in a forever war. I mean, look at him making moves. And they don't like that. So now they have to oppose that. I thought this right here, we need to sign a bill so Trump can't do anything in Venezuela. And we got to do our squishy Republicans. Oh, God. So many of them side with Democrats. And I say they would never do that with us unless it was a rhino on our side that posed a bill that would benefit them. Then they'd be like, now we want to work bipartisan. But other than that, they would never do it. But yet we got our squishy Republicans always bending the knee. And that's something we need to work on. We need to get those guys out. But right now, the big issue is ICE. And we're at a standoff because, Trump is fulfilling his promise. He's not going to bend the knee. ICE isn't going to be like, all right, you guys win all your temper tantrums and whining and stuff. We don't want to hear it no more. Yeah, give the babies what they want. No, you don't do that. I saw a video the other day. I was watching another conservative YouTuber, and he was like, man, you got to wonder if it's even worth it. Should we just leave these cities to their own devices? Now, I get it. One side of me is saying, you know what? You want it, you got it. You want it, well, you got it. I want to just say, you know what? Let these cities implode. Give them all the illegal immigrants they want. Remove the funds from them and just say, yeah, go ahead. Make your own way. However, it's the tactics that these radicals are using which sets a bad precedent. It sets a bad example. It really would say that, look, domestic terrorism works. You whine about a policy that you don't like enough. If you whine about it, instead of voting, if you throw temper tantrums, if you tear up stuff, if you riot, if you attack law enforcement, you'll get your way. That type of behavior will spread all over the place. So you can't give in to them, even if you say, man, this is a bad look sometime, because that's what they want to do. They want to make ISIS efforts look bad. They want to say, look at the optics of this. Look at this. They want to capture the videos of them dragging people out the car without context. They want to show videos of the cop shooting Renee. They want to do all of that because they know that most Americans don't have a stomach for that. But see, I'm built different. My stomach can handle it. That's right. I'm like, yo, I don't care what I see. What we're doing is necessary. And I'm hip to their efforts trying to make it appear that ICE is going too far. ICE is the agitators. ICE is overstepping its boundaries. All of that stuff, all the negativity that is going towards ICE is done strategically to undermine ICE and to make them look bad. Because notice, if you had a chance to see CNN's hit piece a couple years back when they were riding around with ICE, enjoying it, talking about, oh, dear, here's your tactics. They weren't saying none of this stuff. They weren't showing clips and putting it in a negative context. They weren't saying ICE is ripping people out their houses and separating it. They weren't doing that. They were riding around with ICE like, oh, that's pretty cool. So this is how you guys handle. Oh, okay, so I'm with ICE right now. And they never did that. So in other words, the media is making people hate what they don't hate and love what, they should hate. And they're doing it through manipulation. The Democrats are part of that manipulation. And folks in the middle and folks on the right could never bend the knee to that. You can't sit back and say, I'm sick of seeing them on TV, whistles blowing, getting drug off of the collapsing like a baby and having to get drug off somewhere. Somebody said, that dude sounds feminine. Yeah, you can't do that. You cannot rely on the media showing you the accurate, videos and context because they're not there to do that. They're there to make it seem as if ICE is overstepping its boundaries. So I have to expose it. I can't sit back and allow them to do this without commenting on it. And then we'll get to our dear friend, Shri. He's back, y'all. He's back. And he wants to impeach the president over how he's handling ICE and all that stuff. So let's get busy.
This is an all hands on deck process, and in Minnesota, we know how to protect one another, and I have been incredibly proud the way our neighbors have shown up for one another.
What a stupid woman. What a corrupt, evil woman. On deck? What is that? I've never heard anybody emphasize that at the end of on deck. On deck. So now, here she is out there still pretending to be a practicing Muslim. She's just wearing this for nothing. She got the jihad for nothing. Whatever that thing is called, hijab for nothing. Because remember, I'm pretty sure her fellow Somalians and Muslims back in the homeland wouldn't approve of her marriage to a white man, to the white devil. See, so this lady right here that should be deported for breaking our immigration, laws. She's up there talking about all of these folks. She's excited about them coming out and protecting their neighbors. And I'm saying, first of all, they're not your neighbors. It just burns me up when I hear this stuff. They have muddied the waters, and they never show the distinction between American citizens and illegal immigrants. they always refer to them as our neighbors. And I'm saying, so are you saying that in the context of like Mexico is the neighbor to the United States, but still separate? And just because I got a neighbor doesn't mean my neighbor could come in my yard anytime they want and come in my house and stay because they want a better life. That doesn't mean that. How about a neighbor from a distance? Maybe they just look at it like we're all neighbors since we're on the same globe. They don't want to break it down to you and let you know, no. You're not a legal neighbor, okay? You're not one of my neighbors. If you break into my neighbor's crib and you just post up there, you're not my neighbor. I'm going, hey, that house right there has been owned by an American citizen. You just broke into it and now you want me to accept you as my neighbor. But that's one of the tactics that they use. It's the play on words, our neighbors and stuff. Make people think that they're out there for a just cause because they're just protecting their neighbors.
All across Minnesota, people are stepping up to help their neighbors.
Help their neighbors. See the key word? They all got in the room and said, neighbors. We're going to call them our neighbors, okay? We're not going to call them what they really are. They're our neighbors. But yet, all it takes is a smart person to stop and say, wait a minute. This doesn't make sense. I mean, you guys are out here just making it appear that ICE is out there wilding and we're living in Armageddon. Yeah, these folks are just going into neighborhoods and targeting regular American citizens. Nobody stops to ask, well, who are these neighbors you speak of? Huh? I'm a little concerned. You're throwing that out there constantly to try to make me just imagine in my head a peaceful American neighborhood with American citizens, and ICE is just going in there targeting these Americans. Nobody stops to say, well, who are these neighbors you speak of? And what differentiates them from American neighbors? Huh? You don't want to talk about that, but here it is, our neighbors. See, and it's shocking that bubbleheads can't see through this. They don't stop to question this with any logic.
Who are being unjustly and unlawfully targeted.
Unjustly and unlawfully targeted. And then, in a longer clip, he even goes on to say, ICE is targeting your neighbors of color. That's what that's to put the stank on it. See, if you want to really put the stank on it, you got to get out there and say, all right, they're targeting our neighbors. And then you put the stank on neighbors of color. There it is. Yeah. Now, that might wake up some folks that really racially sensitive. You might be like, oh, man, I'm not worried about these ain't my neighbors of color. Oh, shoot. Now my angry gene done kicked in. My mad for nothing gene done kicked in. So they going after people of color. Nah, bruh. Go ahead, let's posse up. But that's what they do. Our neighbors.
We have had perhaps tens of thousands of people peacefully protesting in the streets. And at the same time, yeah, they are going to stand up for their neighbors.
There it is, that word again. Keeps popping up. That ain't no neighbor of mine. I don't know about you. If I had a whole neighborhood of illegal immigrants around me, I would be going, these aren't my neighbors. I want them out of here. Why are they in my neighborhood and they're not American citizens? See, that right there. See, if you break down that fundamental, reality of law and order, if you're here illegally, you already broke some laws. And if people are allowing you to stay here, they're allowing you to do that for a reason. Therefore, you probably think you could break other laws too. You probably think that there is a fat chance of a Democrat area that has a lot of illegal immigrants living in it, are probably not going to allow the cops to really go in there and highlight any potential crime that's going on, report any of these so-called neighbors for crimes they committed, because then it'll bring heat to those neighbors. It'll make people think that, wait a minute now, y'all brought these folks in here illegally. Many of them are committing crimes, and it got my attention. Maybe we shouldn't have these type of neighbors in our country. So they're not going to really want to focus on what these neighbors are up to. Starting off with the fact that they came in the country illegally. That's the first law they done broke. But they're talking about our neighbors.
Our neighbors.
Help their neighbors.
Let's take a look at these
Stand up for their neighbors.
I better take a look.
All right. Let's take a look.
Well, here's some of those neighbors that they're standing up for. This is ICE apprehensions of criminal illegal aliens. Galwak Rodka, convicted of homicide and assault.
What? Now, that ain't one of my neighbors. I don't care if he is black as coal. All right? I mean, I thought I was a dark brother, but that brother dark, man. Woo! he's patent leather dark. Yeah, man, I'm talking about shined up patent leather with baby oil on him. Oh, yeah, he ain't the regular patent leather. He's dark, brother. That brother right there is blueberry black. So now here he is up here. He committed murder. Now, I don't care if he's a brother, the jungle. I don't want that type of name on my dear. See, this is where, everybody should get to, where they're not looking at it like, well, he's a person of color, therefore let him go. No. Yeah, I don't care who you are. You do something like this, you got to go. Not to mention, you're not even supposed to be here in the first place. Let's see some more of these neighbors.
Mariama Kanu convicted 2 counts of homicide, 4 DUIs, 3 counts of larceny and burglary. Mariama Kanu convicted 2 counts of homicide, 4 DUIs.
2 counts of homicide? This chick is out there like that? You got the sisters? I thought, you know what? I knew Youngstown was nuts back in the 90s when we was like the largest, the murder capital per capita in the U.S. for a couple years. Yeah, I knew we went off the rails when the girls was out there shooting in the streets like the brothers. I mean, you couldn't roll up on a chick back then, but man, I'll smack you, girl. You better get, wait a minute now, baby. Listen, baby, put the gun down. Put the gun down. Yeah, they was out there capping like the brothers. So that chick's out there, 2 counts of murder. But wait a minute, though. Wait a minute. She's black. Let her stay. I'm supposed to go ahead and suspend all of my logic, my rationale, my patriotism, my common sense, because look, she's a person of color. So don't go after her. Now, understand, if it was up to these raggedy people like Mayor French Fry and Conehead, not Conehead, but Mayor Homer Simpson Head, Tampon Tim, and of course, fake behind Ilhan Omar, if it was up to them, all of these neighbors would still be running free. Still be running free. I was gone 6 days. Y'all, see, look at y'all. Y'all keeping count. Y'all like, man, where Kid been? My bad. That was all on me. I won't leave you that long. No more, unless something seriously happens. But yeah, so that's the scary part about this. See, when they're out here in the streets whining and talking about that, I'm so happy that everybody's fighting for their neighbors. And I'm saying, but you're not highlighting the people that ICE is getting out of there. In fact, many of these protests, they don't even ask who you're going in there to get. And then after they stir up all the trouble, you'll find that the people that they stirred up the trouble for were folks like this. Yeah, folks like this that would never be tracked down or removed from the country if it was up to these Democrats. Because guess what? They're saying they want ICE completely out of Minneapolis. Get them out of here. We don't want them. Hey, Mayor Small Fry talking about that, get the F out our city. So then what happens to all of these neighbors with rap sheets like this? Because the cops ain't going to get them. The woke police out there is not getting them out of there. But remember, they don't want to tell their citizens that these are the kind of neighbors that's around that you're fighting for. They don't want to tell them that. Yeah, they don't want to highlight this.
DUIs, 3 counts of larceny and burglary.
Neighbors who are being unjustly and unlawfully targeted.
Unjustly and unlawfully targeted. So that's what they want you to believe. You see Governor Homer Simpson here. So break it down simplistically. ICE right now has no idea why or who they're supposed to be going after. Yeah, they're riding around randomly looking for neighbors. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighbor. There it is. And they just look at the playground of kids swinging and folks. You know what? Let's go over there and harass these people. Well, wait a minute. Do we have any reason to believe they're American, not American citizens? No, they're Americans or non-Americans. It doesn't matter. Let's go over and harass them. Let's terrorize them for no reason. No reason. Now, we all know the job of ICE is to focus on illegal immigrants. So they're leaving this out. They're making it seem like they're just going after your neighbors. No, their job is specific. Illegal immigrants. Why aren't you referring to these people in the right context, Mayor Homer Simpson Head? Well, it's because they don't want you to think of them like that. So let's continue listening to them protect their neighbors.
Ty Lohr convicted of 2 counts of homicide. That's just 3 out of dozens that you have picked up in the city of Minneapolis.
Wow. Now, can you imagine you going out there and getting yourself killed, shot, put in jail? Tomorrow I'm going to be focused on this one guy who lost an eye. One guy who lost an eye. How you like that? It's all fun and games until you lose an eye. That's what they always used to say. I used to tell them, no. It's all fun and games until I lose an eye. See, I might be to laugh at somebody else who loses one, but when I lose one, it ain't funny no more. So yeah, these are the type of people that are out there like, ICE, get out of here. Shame.
You know, to quote Mr. Rogers, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
You're right, and I don't think anybody in Minneapolis wants that. Wants that type of criminal element in their neighborhood. They don't want that person as their neighbor.
You don't, but I do.
And I have been incredibly proud the way our neighbors have shown up.
An insurgency, not a protest. That's the focus of tonight's angle. Okay. The message is clear from elected Democrats.
We are going to make sure that these people pay for what they have done to us.
To what they have done to us. So basically, make sure these people pay a price when we get back in power, if we ever do. We're going to go after them because they had the audacity to try to go ahead and get rid of our illegal immigrants that we unlawfully brought into the country, and the numbers in the millions. Yeah, they had the nerve to try to mess us up like this, try to come in here and take away a large voting block that we've been working on for years. Had the nerve to do that. Had the nerve to bring in some law and order. Had the nerve to enforce the law. Who do they think that? Don't they realize Democrats are lawless? We don't believe in that mess. Yeah, the only laws that apply that we try to enforce are the ones that benefit us, that we make up. Yeah. See, going after Trump for no reason, locking J6ers up. All of that is political. It ain't principle. It's political. But now let's see what Keith Ellison have to say. I'm sure he's going to open up with saying, you know what? I want to start off by saying I need some charges brought up on myself for accepting bribes from those Somalis. And I also need some laws brought up for me with some Me Too. Back when I smacked my girlfriend around because she wouldn't take the trash out. I'm sure that's what he's going to open up with. I'm sure. Let's see.
This is, in essence, a federal invasion of the Twin Cities and Minnesota.
A federal invasion of the Twin Cities. Now, my imagination goes wild there when he says that. If I'm a bubblehead, if I am a liberal, and I'm going, what? An invasion? We're being invaded? Oh, we got to do stuff.
Entire districts have had to cancel school. Enforcing federal immigration law and fighting fraud are just pretexts for this surge.
You hear that? This surge. And then to really make it seem like this right here is a state emergency. Let's cancel school. Now, do you understand how over the top that is? You know how stupid that is for shock value. Make it seem like the whole state is under attack. This is an invasion. How do you think unstable people would react to that? How do you think people that don't operate off of common sense and reasoning will interpret that? See, I'm looking at it like this as a reasonable person, okay? If we really were being occupied, let's just say Joe Biden or when the Democrats get back in power and they start targeting red states just because red states don't vote for them. See, that's what that would be. I would be able to recognize the difference between a unlawful invasion and an overreach by the federal government versus the federal government simply enforcing the law. See, so for me to say, holy moly, reasonable people, for us to say the reason we're not into all this violence and protesting like these people are, because we're rational. We're saying that's the last result. I mean, for us to finally conclude that we are being occupied, this is an invasion, and we go and say, let's take up arms, you best believe we're saying, yeah, we got all the goods on you, buddy. We know what's going on. There's no mistaking it. But these folks wouldn't even know ICE is in their city doing these things if it wasn't for the media highlighting it and the Democrats trying to protect these people. They wouldn't even know it because ICE ain't going after none of them. Yeah, if they wouldn't mind their business, they wouldn't even know ICE is going in, hitting these people and getting out of there. So they're creating this fake delusion of an invasion and an occupation, which would make delusional people respond, in a way that you would if you thought your state was being invaded.
This murder of Renee Good in broad daylight is horrific and unacceptable. She was an unarmed citizen driving on a residential street.
Yeah. You know what armed her? Destro. Dang on it. You know what armed her? Kojak. Kelly Savalas. You know what armed her? Was that big fat vehicle she was driving. That's what armed her. It was that big old fat vehicle that she was driving. But you, at the unarmed citizen, Like that lady was just as innocent. She just got turned around. Yeah, that's right. She was in that neighborhood. Oh, golly. Looks like ICE is doing some type of operation. Let me go ahead and get out the way and make a U-turn. It took me 4 minutes. I got stuck right there in my U-turn. There you go. And instead of saying, officer, I'm sorry, I'm turned around. You're talking to him. Instead of saying, officer, no problem, I'm about to leave. Could you just help me and give me your back? No, you didn't do that. You let your wife, so-called wife, you film you, want to get a little viral moment and stuff like that as she's talking trash to the cops. You let all that go on simply because you got turned around. You got lost in the neighborhood. And then, since you couldn't figure your way out of that, when the officer finally says, get out the car, your response is to take off in a nice big fat vehicle and hit that officer. And here this lady is up here saying, murder, unarmed, unreal.
No, she was a member of a radical ICE tracking group whose goal is to disrupt federal law enforcement, block vehicles, and gin up crowds to swarm them. Wow. Had Renee Good been holding a sign on the side of the road, chanting, even loudly, writing letters, calling Capitol Hill, she'd be alive today.
Bam! Simple as that. That's the conclusion that I've come to. When I see people play stupid games, they get stupid rewards. I mean, granted, I would love for no one to pay the price with their life when it comes down to stuff like this. But who I really blame is the Democrat Party, because they need something like this. They want it to go to this extreme so they can do what they're doing now. Trying to impeach people, saying that they're just getting murdered in the street by ICE. They need stuff like this, and they know they can only get this out of useful idiots. This lady allowed herself to be a useful idiot. It's that simple. When I see ICE responding to these people, honestly, I have no sympathy or mercy. It does not move me. They call me callous, call me cold, and all of that. Granted, it's sad. She has kids and all of this stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm going, okay, if you didn't bring something on yourself, I might go, man, that's messed up. But when I say you all the way brought that on yourself and had many, in the words of Police Academy Chief, so many times to get yourself out of that. And this ends up being the result. I mean, if I could snap my fingers and you are back alive, yeah, I would. But the fact that it ended this way is not going to move my heartstrings when it comes down to how we need to get these people out. And if anything, it doubles down. It makes me say, you know what? This wouldn't happen if we would put the smackdown on these people before it get to this level. See, that wouldn't happen. Yeah, sometimes you got to save folks from themselves. Give them that eye of the tiger beating so you keep your kid out the penitentiary when he's older. Yeah, give him something real good when he's about 12. Then he'll think twice when he's 21. Saying, man, I remember my mama and my dad and them showed me there's consequences to my choices. So here we are, as they're trying to make it seem like she was just a gentle woodland flower. And, Laura had to come in and say, no, let's go ahead and tell you what she was really doing.
But when all you hear from Democrats and social media is that ICE and Trump are Gestapo,
earlier than 12.
If you're one of these crazy lunatrons, you think that it's time to use new tactics.
Yeah, and I hope none of y'all out there watching my show is a lunatron, transforming into a lunatron. Let's go protest. No, we're not doing that. We don't want no lunatrons out there. So only a lunatron would take time out of their day to go down there and interfere with ICE. In fact, you know what was even crazy to show how these people think this is a game? See, you ever seen like camera people or people with the cameras or your cell phones? You get a disassociation with reality when something crazy is going on and you're recording it. You almost fall into the lure that I'm really looking at this through a screen or a movie and it's protecting me from the danger, the reality, the bullets flying. I'm just here filming. Why would I get hit? See, when you're out there and you're operating like this, you kind of get disassociated from the reality of these potential consequences. So this woman who was filming was shocked and she yells out in another video, I'll show it some other time, I can't believe y'all had real bullets. See, this is the delusion. You know, it's like, I can't believe a real consequence came of this. When I told her to drive, baby, drive, yeah, I thought they was just going to let themselves be hit. You know, let themselves be ran over. I thought that was going to happen. In the worst case scenario, drag her out the car after she run over an officer, and just arrest her and then let one of these, woke DAs or something let her out. Or hit her with a rubber bullet or something like that. Yeah, the girl didn't even realize, wait a minute, these are real officers out here with real, guns and stuff like that, and was shocked. I can't believe you use real bullets. And I'm going, you think they were like blanks? How are you operating? This is the level that some of these people have gotten to that gives them that overconfidence to do this stuff. Normal people would say, if I see the cops doing stuff, stay my butt away from it, because those cops might have to use deadly force on me if they feel I'm a threat to them or what they're doing. And they're not going to use rubber bullets. But yet, that's how they're looking at it. They're looking at it through, I guess, look, I'm safe behind my camera and my wokeness. My wokeness will protect me.
Or even real weapons. And I'm not just talking about your car.
Uh-oh.
We are under occupation, and this is what the Founding Fathers gave us the Second Amendment for.
Do you know why you have the right to own that AR that you only use in your dreams? The reason they're allowed to have those things is for the moment that we find ourselves in right now. The Second
Yeah, you hear this? You hear the delusion? All of these people. First of all, they don't know what they're asking for. They don't know what they're asking for. But secondly, to get to this point, where you're thinking that your city or state is under occupation to the point where you're like, we got to go ahead and get weapons and go back out there to fight against ICE, lets me know how crazy you are. ICE has nothing to do with any of these people. I'm not seeing any illegal immigrant come on here talking about, we need to get weapons and fight against. These are all Americans that are so delusional and stupid that they think they're being occupied. They think they're being occupied. They're not able to say, wait a minute, is ICE here for us, or are they here for a specific group of people who don't have nothing to do with us? We wouldn't feel the need to be occupied if we would comply. If we had leaders that worked with ICE, leaders that didn't declare they were sanctuary cities, which in return floods their city with all of these illegal immigrants because they're rushing to be protected by Democrats, we wouldn't have to go heavy on the ICE. Hey, but y'all brought it on yourself. And now here these folks are about to, I guess, set themselves up for trouble, talking about the Second Amendment. They love it now. They love it now. And I'm wondering, all of these folks who don't know how to bust a grape, probably don't know how to load a weapon, what are they going to do if ICE gets serious and they come out with their guns talking about, we're going to protect our neighbors. And we're going to put our lives on the line for our neighbors. And I'm going, boy, you're going to die on the hill of wokeness. That's what you're going to do for nothing.
Amendment exists for this reason. And if protests and boycotts aren't working, that's the only option left.
Wow.
Jonathan E. Ross needs to be hunted down. When the law is not going to do anything to protect the people, it is up to the people to take justice into their own hands.
Now, I want you to flip the script. Think about if there was a lot of conservatives making TikTok videos talking like this. I mean, if Joe Biden is going to be writing down license plates, using the FBI to do that and putting together a list of conservatives and things like that, if they're going to be, then you know what this is about, our Second Amendment. We need to go. They would be going to every Republican, asking them to condemn this. Look at your people online. You're inciting violence. These people right here talking about taking up arms against the government. This sounds like an insurrection. They would be all over it. Not to mention, Joe Biden, under him, they would be sending feds to every single one of a conservative that was talking like this. Hey, they would be bing, boom, 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 boom. Who is it? Feds. Oh, shoot. They must have watched my video on TikTok. That's what would be happening. So now these Democrats are getting exactly the results that they wanted. They got these people now to the point where they're talking about taking up arms. But in reality, they don't know what they're asking for. They really don't.
Hands.
Look at this guy. With the noise the face you got. It's time.
You think it's
Charge resistance against the United States of America.
Take your mask off.
This is done. We're done.
We're done. Speak for yourself, tough guy. Lighten up, Francis. You hear this guy out there? If the people did we're done. Yeah, go ahead, give it a try. I mean, I like to see this guy go ahead and all right, I'm back with my 9mm against all these ICE officers. Not going to end pretty. That big dome right there is not going to protect you. It still goes through all flesh. You do understand that. So a lot of these people are just selling wolf tickets, but that doesn't make them a less threat. Yeah, you get enough of them thinking like this, they might try some stupid stuff. And you only have the Democrats to blame, because even if they hurt an ICE agent, or God forbid, even worse, the retaliation from ICE is going to be twice as deadly as what these folks can do. Mess around and hurt an ICE agent and bring down the wrath upon you and all your stupid people. And the Democrats don't care nothing about these people. They will allow them to go out there and get themselves destroyed and then get on TV and blame ICE for doing it. Guarantee you. Unreal.
Fucking murderers! You shot a woman in a wheelchair! And fucking come back with fucking weapons! Go to the gun store, get a gun, learn how to use it, and face you guys man to man!
You hear that?
By any means necessary!
By any means necessary. Tough guy. Yeah, all tough. And it's fun and games until somebody loses an eye.
They're arming up, or they're pretending to arm up, suddenly for gun rights. And by the way, don't count out the foreign influences that are pushing for a government overthrow.
What? No, now, Lord, don't you tell me. Don't you tell me, China. Look at this Chinese propaganda. Uh-huh.
A Chinese propagandist on TikTok is telling insurgents here to start compiling lists of likely Trump supporters and other cooperators.
Now, you see this? This attempt from a foreigner to use our useful idiots. Even our enemies realize what we got going on here. They're like, yeah, the way we destroy the sleeping dragon, the sleeping giant, is not from the outside. No. Let's go ahead and use propaganda for our useful idiots, okay? And watch what this guy tell these useful idiots to do.
Some households still have an American flag in front of their house. That means those people are supporting the American system.
American system. Y'all hear what he just said? This Chinaman, okay, who's probably in the safety of being over in China, is talking about that anybody in America with an American flag is supporting the American system. This guy is trying to go ahead and, drum up a full-blown, civil war. So he wants folks over here. And the sad part is we got dumb, useful idiots. They won't even stop to think, who's telling me to do this? What's in it for him? Who is this guy loyal to? How is this guy about to get me jacked up? How is this guy possibly using me as a useful idiot to go ahead and divide our country in half? It's a sad day when folks will listen to a foreigner who is a part of a government that don't like our country, and he's telling them, this is what y'all need to do. You woke, dumb, useful idiots. What y'all need to do is ride around, find American flags, because that obviously means they support the American system. He didn't even say ICE. He just said the American system. And write down what?
And me and set up a website and ask all your members to take picture of every household.
He get very tough. Take picture of every household. Then you will know that they are very loyal to their country. I want you useful idiots to listen to me. Boy, this guy got some nerve. I challenge him to a fight right now. Whoa, Kevin was kung fu fighting. That brother was fast as lightning. I challenged that Chinaman to a rumble. Unbelievable.
Who got American flag and upload those information to your website.
Compiling lists of cooperators.
Do you hear that? The man that lives in a communist country is telling our dumb, useful idiots to pile up a list of the Americans that support the American system. And the sad part is we got dummies that will probably do that. We got dummies that probably would rather live under the Chinese communistic, umbrella than the U.S. You got dummies that probably give us Xi over Trump. Boy. And that's why they're doing this, because they sense there's a strong presence of useful idiots in our country. Yeah, the dark side senses that. They're like, yes, it's a strong feeling I'm getting from the U.S. They got a lot of dumb, useful idiots, and it might be just ripe for the taking.
If this isn't promoting an armed insurrection, I don't know what is. It starts with treating the patriots as the enemies.
Oh, yeah, that's what.
Look what happened over the weekend. Insurgents besieged a hotel in Minneapolis where they thought that ICE was staying.
Now, you see, that's the key. Make folks who love the country look like their love for the country is evil, is white supremacy, is racism, is division, is exclusion. Make the people who really keeps the country together through understanding it's our cultural, similarities that make us strong. Make those people look like they're the ones with the problem. And so then you send out the goons right here, and look what these goons are doing. Look at that. Bottled water. Now, because, see, they're in a woke state or city, there's nobody coming in with the billy clubs and the shields and putting the shield down. When the shield go down, it's trouble. Yeah, when they come in with the arm shield and then they flip the shield on the helmet down and start moving forward, you're like, uh-oh, time to go. They're serious. But see, they're in a woke city, so they know. And you know how I know they know? Well, look what's happening. Look what's keeping all of these people from just going in and finding these ICE agents in their room individually and doing something to them.
A few security guards, if you watch this video, somehow held back the mob.
Yeah, how is that possible? See, that's because they don't really want no trouble. They want to have the appearance of trouble. If you allow 2 security guards or so to hold back all them people, and all they're doing is pushing and back and forth, a little tug of war, that means you don't want no real action. See, that you just want the delusion, the illusion of action. It's kind of like when, you see 2 dudes out in the street talking trash, and the one dude just says, forget it, just come on, what you want to do, come on. And then the other guy allows his 130-pound girlfriend to hold him back. Yeah, to push him into the car. Up to, no, baby, it ain't worth it. No, and he's like, get off me. As she's allowing her to push him back to the car. Get in the car like, let's get out of here. Whew, that was a close one. Yeah, you saved my life, baby. I didn't want no real smoke. When that dude said, let's do it, I'm going to let my girl hold me. No, baby, come on now, let's just go. It ain't worth it. When you could easily just grab her and go, whoop, let's do it. But nah, these folks, if they couldn't get past these 2, then that meant, all right, we don't really want to go in there. Because see, once we get past them, we won't know what to do then. What are we going to do when we get in there? Are we really going to go find these ICE agents in their room and do what to them? Do what to them? By the time you get to my room, if I know there's an angry mob, I'm sitting there like this as soon as the door opens. So they don't run no real trouble, but they pretended to. Yeah, look at us. We're playing tug of war with these 2 officers.
No National Guard were called in. No police that we could see were on site. Governor Walz and Mayor Fry have said that ICE's footprint, though, is too big there.
Too big.
So what happened when ICE sent only a pair of agents to a shopping area in St. Cloud on Saturday? The 2 ICE agents were quickly surrounded and they were pushed out by a mob screaming, all sorts of epithets at them, and it looked to be a mob of mostly Somalis. It was embarrassing. Now, this resistance, this insurgence, is organized and well executed. Wow. It's meant to undermine our entire federal system, but we know Democrats don't care.
Well, you hear that? Our entire federal system. In other words, there are evil forces working to destabilize our country. And we got enough useful idiots that are allowing themselves to be used to do just that. They don't understand that they're simply the battering ram. They're the fodder. They're the cannonball. See, yeah, these are the pawns on the chessboard. They're easily sacrificed. Nobody worries about a pawn getting taken. Oftentimes you throw them out there to get taken so you can, go for something bigger. You're like, I'm going to sacrifice 3 pawns so I can get a king or a queen or something like that.
Care about Renee Good because to them, she was just collateral damage.
Cannonball.
She was a talking point. She's dead because of her choices and the constant demonization campaign that Democrats put out there 24/7.
Wow, Lord, now that's tough love. Yeah, nobody wants to hear that. When you're talking about, a useful idiot getting themselves killed. No, you want us to focus on she was a mother, she was a musician, she liked to paint, that she was just simply dropping her kid off at the daycare. She wasn't doing nothing. She was just lost. She was trying to comply. She's trying to comply. Yeah, that's what you want folks to focus on. Not all of the choices that led up to her getting herself killed. Once you get to that level, it's hard for me to have a lot of empathy and sympathy. When I say, wait a minute, you started the morning off following ICE around. Okay, I don't know about you. If I'm law enforcement, I get a little concerned The hair on the neck stands up. When I say, hey, this car has been following us all morning. That's the first problem, right off grip. Why are you following cops around? I don't do that in my free time. Let's go follow some police around and see what they're doing and who they're arresting. So you're doing that, which was stupid. Then you find them and you, hey, cut it out. And you park sideways and you just wonder how that's going to end. I'm looking at all the things she did that led up to that. And when I say, wow, you could have avoided that many, many times. And then when something bad happened, you want to act all outraged and folks say her name. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be out there saying her name. I'm not going to be out there saying George Floyd's name. I'm not going to be saying Michael Brown's name because all of those folks got themselves killed. Let's continue, though.
What do they want? They want no one deported. Ever.
I'm so exhausted in trying to ask what any of this, information has led to you finding any criminals that you have indicted that explains why you are wasting so much of our taxpayer resources.
Now she's worried about taxpayer resources. Y'all hear that? You hear? Oh, hey, cut it out. No playtime on my watch. You understand that? Now they want to get over there and play. They never play together. Gizmo's like, go on now. Now all of a sudden he want to play. Stop that. No playing, no whining. Sit down. Anyway. Yeah, so now all of a sudden you hear Ilhan Omar. She's not worried about those billions that were taken in tax dollars resources. But yeah, now she want to worry about the resources that she's being used to get who?
And also terrorizing our communities.
That's terrorizing her community? Oh, really? Who's terrorizing the community?
Yeah,
like some of the upstanding residents that ICE has picked up recently in Minnesota?
Sure.
Meet Sridorn Pavan.
Who?
He's a Laotian illegal that DHS says was convicted of strong-arm sodomy of a boy and strong-arm sodomy of a girl.
Got to go. That man got to go, and I ain't talking about deportation. You let me have a kid, and I find out somebody did that to my kid? Hey, you better hope the cops get to you before I do. That's all I'm saying. Better hope the cops get to me. I will go ahead and take my chances with a sympathetic jury. I'm like, man, I walked in, caught this dude, and I lost my mind. I'm sorry. Couldn't take it no more. I feel you, brother. If that had been my kid, I would have too. Yeah, so they're protecting folks like this. Who else in their neighborhood?
The deportation order on him since 2018. And then there's Gilberto Salguero Landaverde, a Salvadorian illegal alien convicted of 3 counts of homicide.
Homicide? You see that gentle woodland creature right there who ain't did nothing but come here for a better life? You see him? I just thought he was a Maryland man or something like that. He's just a Minnesotian man.
There's also Abri Dashid Adosh Elmi, a Somalian illegal alien, also convicted of homicide.
Whoa, look at that. Nice guys, huh? Mm-hmm.
So you got to protect all of them. Yeah. But if you're a victim of illegal alien crime, they pretend you don't even exist.
That is true.
That's why there were no liberals at vigils for Lake and Riley. No. They didn't care about her. But they do pretend, though, to stand against excessive force by law enforcement. But they thought unarmed Ashley Babbitt deserved it.
Deserved it. Because that was the greatest attack on the homeland. Ashley Babbitt trying to get through that window as all of those folks was pressing up against her. All of a sudden, that cop with the tricky finger, the shaky, wobbly gun. That guy right there who left his own firearm in the bathroom. Got out there. Where did I leave my gun? Where was I last? Yeah, that guy. Hey, shot her. She wasn't even doing nothing. But yet, the lady that runs into an officer with her car, causing internal bleeding, unjustifiably shot.
January 6th, the insurgents, though, they don't care about double standards. They are committed to ridding the country of Trump and his agents by any means necessary.
True,
they're listening closely because they want to deliver vigilante justice.
Yeah, that's their style. Because they can't win at the ballot box. Nah, man. You take away their USID, all of their, NGOs and their funding from this and their money, they're getting kickbacks from this. You take away all of that, strip them down to the bare bone and say, get in the ring. You're not going to get your steroids. You ain't going to be able to put cement inside your gloves. You're not going to be able to do that. Get in there with nothing but hands with skin on it and go one-on-one with the conservatives. You can't win it. That's all you get is hands with skin on it. None of that. Equal fair fight. Nah, man. How we going to do that? No, I want to be able to have some pads on, block this. I want a helmet on. I want to be able to take 5-minute breaks before, because just in case I get tired. No, that ain't the rules. Fair and square.
And listening to Ilhan Omar? Why wouldn't they? Now, since 2024, the election there, the hard left has decided that America and our system is irredeemable. Yeah. It's also, to them, illegitimate.
And that's what makes them justify all of these tactics. See, they always yell about the Constitution only when it's convenient for them. Only when they're trying to stop Trump from doing something, and then they they misplace the statement. The Constitution, he's overstepping. They always like to throw that out there when they try to say Trump's going too far. But in reality, they care nothing about that Constitution. It's standing in their way. First and Second Amendment, standing in their way. All of these things are standing in their way. And to legitimize all of the violence coming from the left, they convinced them that you got to overthrow it. You got to tear it down because it's already tainted. The whole system was founded in racism, division, hate, all of this white supremacy. So when you lose your mind and decide, I'm going to go out there and get myself killed because I'm fighting against the system that's rotten from the core, you'll think you're dying for a good cause. There you go. You're just helping us tear down a good thing. That's all you're doing. You're helping us tear down the best thing going. The U.S. has the best thing going, and these useful idiots are working hard to destroy it. Boy, I tell you, they would get voted off of my island.
77 million Americans to have voted for Trump was for that. It was just a point of no return. Yeah. So elections and campaigns are simply not enough for them anymore. No. They don't trust elections or campaigns to rid us of what their party elites were describing as alternatively Hitler's Third Reich.
Yeah, see? Because, what are they going to do? Win on the merits of their argument? They don't trust American citizens to vote for all of this stupidity that's going on, all of their crazy ideas and policies. They don't trust that. They're like, man, they see through us. We was relying on dead votes, voter rolls not being cleaned up, illegal immigrants voting. We was relying on that. Relying on election poll workers cheating for us and stuff like that. But they're starting to clean all that mess up. Not to mention, they're going after our secret weapon, which would have been making 11 plus million illegal immigrants legal. Yeah, using them for the census, helping us get more representation in our states and in our cities. Yeah, they're going after that. We're going to have nothing if we allow them to do that. So now we got to go ahead and fight as dirty as we can be by throwing our useful idiots out there to be slaughtered because we're lying to them about, yeah, that's right, we have to protect our neighbors, die for our neighbors who's not even our neighbors.
Or the Gambino crime family. Yeah. Again, all of this, fed the burgeoning insurgency. They wanted it to feed an insurgency.
Yep.
It was like throwing slop into a pigsty.
Yeah.
They knew it would have an effect. They would devour it. So here's the bottom line. If you believe that the voters have the right to pick their own leaders,
I do,
and that those leaders have the right to enact change or enforce laws, then you must do everything you can legally to oppose the efforts of the insurgents who are stirring up violence against the president and his team. That is the only way we're going to ensure that we remain a country governed by laws and not by mobs.
Copy that, Laura. Copy that, Laura. See, I watch these folks talking about going to get weapons. I watch all this. I watch them harassing ICE. And I'm saying, if a bunch of patriots decided, we're going to go ahead and support ICE. We're going to go out there with our weapons and set up a perimeter. And they would be, this is an insurrection. These people aren't there. This is vigilantes, all of this stuff. And then I wonder, though, if all of these tough folks talking about this is our Second Amendment, they don't realize that they would be poking a bear if they decided, now this is a time for the folks who didn't believe in the Second Amendment, probably don't go to no gun range practice, and only organizing they're able to do is protest like this, chaotic organizing. If folks who are really organized, calm under pressure, patriotic, love the country, have principles, and they came out and said, you know what, y'all coming out in force, we're going to come out in force to counter all of this. Yeah, we're not going to sit back and let our ICE agents be attacked while they're trying to arrest folks. Then they'd be wanting. Arrest these people. Look at them. They got their guns out there. They got their patriot. They got their flags and stuff. This is white supremacy. White supremacy. They'd have a fit. But they allow these people to run around and do what they do and even talk about getting weapons and fighting against ICE and stuff. There's more on that. But we got to get now to the source of the stupidity. How do you get people to the point where they're like, let's go get guns and do the Second Amendment and stuff. We got to fight against ICE. How do you get them to that point? Well, you see that on my screen. those 3 letters. Yeah, the Communist News Network. Yeah, it's a good place to start.
The mainstream media. People are seeing these videos and they're concerned, they're concerned that a place like Minnesota is turning into a police state and they're going up to you.
No, we're not concerned with that. You're trying to drop the idea that we're concerned that Minnesota is turning into a police state. No. See, when I see the videos, I don't know what interpretation you're getting, but I'm concerned that Minnesota is turning into Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. That's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned it's being turned into Little Somalia. Yeah, I'm concerned it's being turned into the jungle. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the dummies sleep tonight. Those dummies up there in the jungle. So now, here they are talking about their concern is the police. Only a stupid idiot would think that. ICE don't want to be there longer than they have to. They're not trying to come in there. When you say police state, that refers to a group of people who's personally being used by a leader to target its own citizens and threaten them and attack them into compliance. But that's not what ICE is there to do. And yet you're dropping that seed right there. Now watch this lady go off on her for dropping that seed, trying to act like I'm going to make this statement on behalf of all of these people that are concerned, not on behalf of trying to actually plant the idea and the seed in all of our 2 or 3 people who's watching this head. No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm going to pretend this is coming from other people. It's coming from other people.
U.S. citizens asking for ID and using.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of fear mongering going on. I think by the media.
But it's not. Hold on. Let me just correct you right there. Let me just. They're watching these videos and using their independence of mind.
Are they? Oh, she calls out the media. Well, let me correct you right there. They're watching this video. They come to independence of mind. No, I see how you guys are interpreting the video, painting the picture, and allowing your people to talk about the video versus folks with common sense who see the video and go, I don't see what the problem is. She got herself shot. See, so you guys would prefer to pretend she was just turning around in the street. She was just dropping her kids off and all of that stuff. How is it that I can see the same video and come to a whole different conclusion? So this lady now can't let CNN get away with that because now they're pretending that this ain't got nothing to do with us. Nothing to do. Now, this people who see the video. And they're saying, oh, yeah, that looked pretty bad. Well,
it's not the media. It's not the media.
Let's take a look at what we have.
Yes,
shall we?
A place like Minnesota is turning into a police state.
It is heartbreaking to see these images in America. We are the country that's supposed to be an example for the rest of the world. And the things that are happening in our streets are the type of things that happen in these third world countries. And they do bring all sorts of bad memories when you see these masked men targeting people. And it's not just Minnesota.
What? Masked men targeting people? I mean, what kind of image are y'all trying to create in the minds of people? I mean, what are y'all trying to make people think when y'all get on your show talking about they're targeting people, this occupation, this right here at the... Yeah, because see, when I think of that, I think of, wow, you know what, man, this is like the end of the world type stuff. You're telling me Trump is going in there indiscriminately, just saying, go in and start attacking neighborhoods, attack ICE agents. Make sure you focus heavily on the people of color. Make sure you focus them. What? No, this ain't got nothing to do with illegal immigrants. I want y'all to go in there and just start harassing Minnesotans. That's what I want. All of these images are coming from created outrage and a whole bunch of chaos. All of the images you see are drummed up by folks creating chaos. They're creating the images. We wouldn't see the images if the agitators weren't coming out. But now we're going to really see if this CNN lady's statement is true. Well, hold up. Now hold your britches. It ain't got nothing to do with us.
What are you talking about?
But wait, there's more.
People are very aware of this story, and they're very aware of other stories where they're seeing this armed militia, essentially.
Armed militia? Whoa. Why are you referring to them as an armed militia? That's not incendiary. That's not hyperbole. The militia. So wait, let me understand. This armed militia just decided that this, I guess what, American citizen who was just driving to work, didn't do nothing. They just decided, let's go and rip this person out their car for no reason. Armed militia, so we can create these images and stuff like that of us just being mean for nothing.
So Americans have no rights. We have the right to ask someone to see their badge.
Oh, look at that. I wonder how many times they had to ask that lady to get out the car. Get out the car. Now, I don't know about you. I've had to get out the car. I've been detained before. They didn't have to ask me 5 times. They didn't have to yank me out the car. None of that. I got out the car. I understood what came next. I understood once they say, okay, well, could you cut the car off and step out? What do you think's coming after that? Nope. No, I ain't. Okay, so you're going to make us cut your car off and yank you out the car. And then when it gets physical, then anybody on the street recording, look, they ain't do nothing. They just did that for no. I could have got out on my own, but I chose not to. See, so let's finish hearing the media try to say, look at all these horrific things ICE is doing that we're drumming up and trying to show you these things without context.
Who they are. But these ICE officials are acting as though you don't have that right. And they're smashing car doors, ripping people out of their cars, even when individuals are saying, wait, I'm an American citizen. Let me get my ID.
Yeah, sing it.
You always lying. That is.
Yeah, why you always lying? Now, either these people are not aware of how to de-escalate things and resolve matters easily. It's not to say that somebody might not be mistaken, for somebody else, and they said, well, give me your ID, you got your ID. You can resolve that peacefully. But when why y'all I'm an American citizen, I ain't getting out the car. Nope, I know my right. When you could have resolved it by just saying, here it is, there you go. You can, okay, good, thanks, all right, keep it going. Yeah, I had cops in my face, surrounded my whole car, and every one of them had guns pointed at me because some nosy person in Panera Bread got off work and saw me doing a video chat showing someone a potential, concealed carry weapon. I had one of my Glocks on me, and I was like, this right here would be good for you. Well, this lady going to her car, see me, video chatting, showing the gun, and she decides to call the police because she's like, one of the ladies who work here got a boyfriend who's crazy. He's a stalker. He might be out there in the car. And before I got done, I put the, lady, I'm still on the video chat. I put the gun down. I start the car. Let me get out of here. And about 8 cars pull up and they jump out, surround the car, shotguns, pistols, everything. Get out the car. Now they're giving me all kind of commands. One dude saying, roll down the window. Other dude saying, put your hand on the steering wheel. Other dude saying, put your hands up. Other dude saying, get out the car. And I'm thinking, okay, these next couple seconds are going to determine my life. Okay. All right. And instead of saying, man, what the blink, 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 I simply said the best, way forward, keep the hands where they can see them. Talk to the guy that's closest to me, not the guy on that side, not the guy in the front yelling. And I said, hey, look, man, could you tell these guys right here, I need to, make a decision based on one order. I said, so what do you want me to do? You want me to keep my hands up? You want me to get out the car? You want me to unbuckle my seat? And he told them all, chill out. And I said, now, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this hand to roll down the window. I did that. Everything I did, he okayed. And then once they found out, oh, you got a license to carry. Okay, you're legit, this and that. There's no problem. Hey, sorry for the inconvenience. Get on out of here. Now, if I would have decided to litigate that right there, I wouldn't be here. If I was deciding make moves, put the car in park, drive further, if I would have did any of that, I would have been gone. These dudes, man, would have been pop, 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 blew me up. So I had to think straight. Okay, Kev, comply, be calm, common sense, don't provoke. And after that, man, we was chatting, and it's like, all right, man, you good to go. Just be careful. That was it. So, yeah, your choices could determine what happens to you. And in this case, this lady made bad choices, and everybody else who's harassing ICE are making bad choices as well. It might not lead to this, but they're bad choices.
Part of it's about the way they are conducting this far beyond, it's not just taking nannies and taking, day laborers. It is now, and we saw an American citizen get shot in the face. So
they brought it on himself. It's about the way. Now, see, you got to understand, ICE has been operating in this way for a long time. You know what the difference is? The way the media portrays what they're doing. That's it. That's all it is. Because when CNN was riding shotgun with ICE back in the day, they didn't paint ICE as Gestapo. They didn't drum up. They didn't have Democrats out there going on shows every day talking about this is overreach, man. ICE right now, this is an invasion. They're murdering Americans and shit. They weren't doing that under Obama when ICE and CNN was partnered up? Why is it? Well, of course, you can make people love what they hate and hate what they love based on perception. Same tactics they were using. But now all of a sudden, the way that they're you wouldn't even know about the way that they're doing it if you weren't sending all of these crazy agitators out there with phones to drum up all of this. If you weren't out there making illegal immigrants and others feel as if they got a right to be here, and if ICE do anything to you, you can resist. You could go ahead, use your car to run them over. You could flee the scene because ICE is really the bad guys, not you illegal immigrants that's here illegally, not you guys. Yeah, y'all got a right to go ahead and team up to try to beat an ICE member to death with a shovel. You got a right to do that. And when he shoots one of you, while you're sitting in a hospital, take a picture of yourself smiling. Yeah, because you most likely will become a hero amongst the Democrat Party. Most likely they'll be out there, this person right here needs due process, and all of that stuff. Don't leave them be. Because you got stupid politicians that are on your side.
It's as traumatizing, frankly, as the George Floyd murder was.
They're asking ICE to do. Oh, here's the guy with the arch eyebrows. But remember, guys, the media is not the problem. The media ain't the problem. No, it's not. They're your own eyes. Your own eyes. Listen to this gentle, and I mean gentle man right here, and his take on it.
Outrageous things. They are recruiting them using Nazi, white supremacist propaganda, hinting to that, and then people see that.
This makes me want to get so high, and I don't even take drugs. You hear this? That they're recruiting people through not Nazi propaganda, and I'm going to see right off grip. Right off grip. I can't take you seriously. Can't take you seriously. I already know what your motive is. I know what you're there to convince stupid, simple-minded people that somehow this right here is, mixed with Nazism. It's Nazism. Yeah, I want y'all to interpret what they're doing as Nazi behavior. So therefore, when you get yourself killed, you'll think it was justified. I was out there trying to save us from the Nazis.
Who don't recognize it as Nazi or...
Because it's not. Yeah, you're trying to make them recognize it as something that it's not. That's your gold, gentleman. That's your gold, arch eyebrow man. The people who don't recognize it, let me help you recognize it by creating a false comparison.
Or white supremacists, maybe they just join anyway. But the ones who do recognize it see it as a hint. The same kind of hint as stand back and stand by. And
stand back and stand by.
And then you put those people in the field. This is not people coming to Washington to protest. These are people being placed in my neighborhood.
Oh, God. That not people coming to Washington to protest is people placed in my neighborhood. Are they? Do you, Mr. CNN eyebrows arched man, do you stay in a neighborhood with a whole bunch of illegal immigrants surrounding you? I wonder. See, but remember, guys, they forgot the difference between these people and American citizens. He's not going to tell you that. He's not going to tell you he probably goes back to a nice, neighborhood with their illegal immigrant free. But he's going to make you think that these are my neighbors too.
Doing horrible things to my neighbors. And when people respond to that, they say, now the problem we created, we will solve with more force.
So it's ICE's fault. Yeah, that's what it is. They're recruiting Nazis, okay, whether you know it or not. You're being recruited by Nazi propaganda. And then they're sending these Nazis to this man's neighborhood. So my assumption then, the only reason ICE would be in your neighborhood would be if your neighborhood was flooded with a lot of illegal immigrants. You're not building that into your propaganda? So you want us to believe that, you're living in a neighborhood with no illegal immigrants in it, and ICE is just going to come in and start harassing y'all and taking you away? That's what you want us to believe, arched eyebrows? The only other train of thought that I can have to justify that stupid statement would be you must live around a lot of illegal immigrants, which I'm pretty sure you're not built for that. Pretty sure you're not built to be around a whole bunch of illegal immigrants that you don't know what they're there for, what they, all that stuff. I'm pretty sure that's not your style. But you're going to make these folks think that, people in my neighborhood.
It's a horrible political play.
First of all, how dare you sit here and accuse ICE agents of being Nazi, Gestapo, and white supremacists when they are enforcing...
Is that what I said? Is that what I said? Let's go ahead and remind him what he said.
You just insinuated that they're apparently recruiting others. You said they're recruiting others, and then it's a dog whistle for others to then apply to that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Which basically is they're recruiting Nazis.
Let me tell you what he's referring to. He's referring to
Here comes the ref. Y'all hear the ref? Yeah, but he's referring to what?
Put out on social media by DHS.
I've seen all the
and on the Department of Labor and on other accounts that have been traced back to white supremacist chat rooms, iconography.
They just make up stuff. Well, if they come out and say protect, what you love, your roots, your heritage, all of that stuff, that has to be Nazi propaganda. When you come out and you say, God bless America, that's Nazi. When you say, I love my country, that's Nazi. When you say, I'm a patriot, that's Nazi. I'm a proud American, Nazi. You see the games that they play? Yeah, anytime you start talking about things that connect you to attributes about America that has made it what it is today, they have to attack that. They can't have Americans loving America, because then you can't destroy America. You can't get folks to become useful idiots if they realize, why would I want to tear down the greatest country? Why would I want to tear down a country that's provided all these opportunities? Why would I want to tear down a country who got a great constitution that protects our liberty? Why would I want to tear that down? Well, you shouldn't if you got common sense. So therefore, we have to attack all of those things and demonize them. So if you're a person that loves your country, a person that connects with the culture, the history, all that stuff, then that's Nazi type behavior. Yeah, you can't come out declaiming I love America. That's Nazism. Yeah, that's what Hitler did. He loved Germany. So therefore, you can't love America.
That's equivalent of Hitler drank water. So if you drink water,
Did you not see the one? Well, look. Did you not see the one with George Washington?
There's plenty of stuff.
Did you see the one with George Washington?
Which specific one?
The one where they were using Nazi, they were hinting at Nazi phrasing over a picture of George Washington. Did you see it? Did you see it? You didn't see it.
Well, what was the Nazi
phrasing? You said you see it, but you didn't see it.
What is the Nazi? What is it, gentleman? What is it? What's the Nazi phrasing?
And you didn't see it.
And the reason,
No one knows the phrase. How can you accuse everyone of seeing it if you can't say the phrase?
I don't want to, guys, hold on. I don't
Exactly.
One second. Everybody stop talking.
Yeah, everybody stop talking, especially the gentleman. See, you lost the argument when you bring in Nazis. Every time I hear it, I just roll my eyes. In fact, every time I hear racism, white supremacy, I'm like, ugh. It's sad. It is really sad when you're throwing out things like that, and I'm saying you do realize you're referring to something that should be isolated to that time, that era, and that whole regime. That's what it should be isolated to. You shouldn't bring that into any other argument. When you bring Nazis into the argument, I'm going, see, you're disqualified. You should be disallowed from the circle, the table. Get that person out of there because they're bringing stupidity to the argument. Nazi behavior.
One eternity later.
I want to make sure we get the phrase in, because the phrase is one homeland, one people, one heritage. Remember who we are as American over a picture of George Washington.
What's the problem with that? One homeland, one heritage, one people. But you see what the left goes after? All of those things that everybody should be able to rally around and say, darn right. No, they have to tear that down because their whole platform is about divide and conquer. Yeah, we can't have y'all out there going, that's right, one for all and all for one. Nah, a country that is not divided is strong. We got to do what the Chinaman has been telling everybody on TikTok to do. To write down anybody who got a flag in their house, because then they're supporting the American system. They might as well be just going ahead and hooking up with that Chinaman right now. So I don't see one of the things that the White House put out there about loving your country, one, heritage, one, nothing wrong with that. But according to this guy.
And that is a hint at what a lot of people are suggesting is a hint at.
No. A lot of people aren't suggesting nothing. You are suggesting that, gentleman. Yeah. Abby is suggesting that. The left is suggesting that. Yeah, you can't talk too much about loving your country and being united without it being motivated by Nazis.
A Nazi German party thing that said one people, one realm, one leader. Do you remember what the largest Nazi rally ever held in America? Where it was held?
Have you ever seen a dollar bill that says one nation under God? Have you ever read John Jay, who said we were one people with one language?
Madison Square Garden in 1934.
1934 is right here. It's back there. So not one nation under God? One nation under a groove. Can I get it on a good foot? Yeah. Can't get none of that in? No patriotism. You hear that it was that Nazi did it, of course, 1937 and stuff like that. Yeah, I got a good mind to sneak into the place where he gets his eyebrows arched. And tap his person on the shoulder and say, I'll take it from here. Get out a chainsaw and cut those eyebrows off completely. And go ahead, relax, close your eyes. I'm just going to be a minute. Grab some pliers instead of tweezers. On my fault. Rip some skin out while I'm pulling those eyebrows off. Oh, my bad. I ripped some skin off. My regular tweezers are missing, so I got to use some vice grips. There you go. Gentleman, Nazi behavior.
And you know what picture was on that stage? George Washington. And you know what the person said when they got on the stage to introduce that Nazi rally? Was that if George Washington was alive today, he and Adolf Hitler would be friends.
So let me understand what you're trying to say. Because in 1937, when some Nazis did a rally and they decided to say George Washington is somebody we probably would have been friends with, then that must make George Washington a Nazi. That's what that means. See, the logic that they use. This is the propaganda. So that lady was right when she said the media, but no, not according to that. No, wait a minute. Well, hold your horses, lady. It's not the media. It's not the media. It's the videos that people are watching. So let's see another example.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
No, actually, it is the media, and we're seeing it time and time again by saying things like the police state.
On this very network, during the 4 p.m. Eastern hour, a reporter was on the ground in Minneapolis, and he was explaining what he has seen with his own eyes.
His own eyes. Now, you see that? You see that flat-faced race baiter right here? That one right there? Yeah, she's one of the worst. They bring her on for special occasions. So watch her go ahead and try to fact check this man about this.
During the day, yes, peaceful protesters exercising their First Amendment right. But what happens when the sun goes down? A new group of people, younger, come out, and in his words, are agitators.
His words. So the freaks come out at night. The freaks come out at night. The freaks come out. The freaks come out. But look at her face. Like what? Like he just farted or something. What you talking about? We didn't say that.
They are standing outside a federal facility where ICE agents are going to start their work or finish their work for the day. And these agitators are kicking the cars, hitting the cars, trying to cause problems. And we're not focused on that.
But I just also want to correct something.
Oh, you hear her come in with the correction? Yeah, I just want to also correct something. Yeah, I'm going to school you, Mr. White Man.
A complete misrepresentation of what the reporter you were referencing, Shimon, was on ground in Minneapolis. And I saw the stand-up he did in the 4 p.m. Eastern hour. He absolutely did not say what you suggested he did. He was saying what he had been told. He's been on the ground bearing witness.
He said, I have seen this,
The audience can look at it.
Agitators.
He didn't.
Oh, he didn't. Now, you gotta understand, she's a strong, intelligent black woman. Don't be questioning, don't be throwing that. He didn't. I'm gonna throw my blackness around. I'm gonna throw my attitude around. Oh, no, he didn't. My rudeness. And watch, she should have an egg all on her face. And they said the media ain't got nothing to do with it.
Said that he said what he's been told.
But
it's not about what I'd like, but I think of the liars at the table, I'm probably not in that category.
Oh, I'm probably not in that category. When I think of the liars at the table, I'm probably not in that category. Are you? Because see, I hope they go back and replay what we're about to see.
And I'm also not a cult member where I regurgitate every talking point from the GOP.
Look at that. Yeah, I'm not a cult member and this and that. No, you are. You are completely in the cult of wokeness, cult of Marxism, a cult of the socialism and the Democrat cult. Yeah, you're all about protecting the Democrat way. But let's see if she was right.
Transcript on the
Okay, great.
But last night, what I witnessed was that many of the people who were out here, they're not.
With who? What? Who witnessed it? He didn't say what I heard. Somebody had said what I witnessed for the girl to just say that the people there, I'm probably not one of the liars.
Protesters. These are the agitators. They were trying to stop the cars from going in. They were kicking the cars. They were attacking the cars. And this went on for a while. And for the most part, federal law enforcement stood back. And they said, okay, let's see if this ends. And it didn't. And then finally, at around 11 Eastern, they had just had it. And that's when we got caught in the middle of the tear gas that was being thrown, the flashbangs that the federal law enforcement was here throwing to disperse the crowd.
Oh, Tiffany, where are you? You didn't see this? You didn't decide, you didn't stop for a second to say, well, you know what, maybe I should watch the clip myself before I get on here and try to check the white man. See, she had to check the white man.
It really came as a surprise because for most of the time they were allowing the agitators to stay here and the protesters who were in the street.
So they had enough.
And then eventually they had enough and they pushed people back. But that's where the flashpoints, Casey, occurred.
It's Democrats who have...
Well, those are just some examples of how the media is trying to sway this. But wait, here's another example.
Put Somali diaspora in Minneapolis at the center of their party and their state's politics. It's a small portion of the population. There is a bunch of fraud that goes on. And even Tim Walz has claimed that any investigation of this fraud is akin to white supremacy.
There it is. There it is. You want to get somebody off your back, slide in some white supremacy. And anybody who comes in, questions it, investigates it, enforces the law, it can't be for those reasons. It has to be some white supremacy. Therefore, stop looking into this. We don't want you guys running around like white supremacists, do we? Yeah, so we got to give up. We got to abandon enforcing rules, regulations, laws, consequences. All that has to be abandoned. Soon as somebody say the reason you're doing this is because of white supremacy. Well, according to, of course, the referee, Abby, he ain't never say that.
He has not said that. He has not said that.
He's not.
This is what happens when your own federal government wages war against you. This is what happens when they target communities for their own benefit. This is what happens when they scapegoat. And this is what happens when they no longer hide the idea of white supremacy, the idea of white supremacy, the idea of white supremacy, the idea of white supremacy.
Y'all hear that? The idea of white supremacy. The idea of white supremacy. Yeah. Right there for Abby to see. But you know what? She's blind. She can't see. She need to wear sunglasses like DMC. So now, I think the fake news is playing a part in convincing these useful idiots that this is a problem.
Seeing is rampant violence against our law enforcement, highly coordinated. We have our legal authorities. When individuals see videos like that, you have to ask the question, was this individual obstructing law enforcement?
No, you don't want to ask those because these are rational questions. This is the way the rational, logical brain should work. Therefore, we can't have that. Take away all of that. Slide in emotions. She was a mother. She was a painter. She was just dropping her kid off. She was, that's what you want folks to focus on. No, you don't want folks to focus on, wait a minute, how did she get there? What got her in this position? What led to this event?
Which is a federal crime. Were they assaulting law enforcement, which is a felony? Were any of those instances occurring before this video was cut? Because you saw a very short cut, and that's what I'm talking about the media.
Yeah, because when you put it in that perspective, I'm starting to see that same video that they said, people could see the video themselves in a whole different way. And I'm starting to see it in the way that a rational person should see it. Like, would I have been in that position? What would I have been doing on that day? Would I have taken time out of my day to say, you know what, I think it's healthy and safe for me to follow law enforcement around and impede their actions? I think that would be a safe thing. Don't forget about the kids. I'm sure they'll be fine if this goes, off the rails. I'm sure they'll be fine. And then forget about me going to get a job. My job is to go ahead and harass ICE. Yeah, all of that stupid stuff. So now this lady is eating CNN up, and watch CNN as she just mentioned it's the fake news, and they swapping down. And it's all what people see. Watch them walk right into the very trap that she just said. Yeah, it's because of the news. And they chastised her. And watch what Blitz does.
There is not a lot of context that's being out there.
Then
We
why
have to
don't
be
you allow
very
ICE officers to
responsible.
wear the
We
cameras?
of course
then?
allow them to wear. They often
So they all have. Will they all have body
we
cameras?
are working
so you
on
can
that
have,
with the one big beautiful bill. Actually, I think we can talk about the incident from last week where that
Hold
law
on, this
enforcement
is news,
officer.
though.
If I can finish, that law enforcement officer, he actually filmed himself being obstructed
Thank
by
God he did.
these individuals who are on the ground who are harassing him. This vehicle being blocked in, and that actually largely vindicated him. And actually, everything that DHS has said up until that point was corroborated.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal.
Here it comes. Here it comes now. They're about to do exactly what they just swarping down that they don't do.
You lose.
But 51% say ICE makes cities less safe. Just 31% say it makes cities more safe. On the Renee Good case you brought up, 26% of Americans viewed the shooting as an appropriate use of force, while 56% called it an inappropriate use of force.
Now, if this is a legitimate poll, could that poll not be influenced by all of the negativity that you guys are bringing to ICE? All of the clips that I just showed y'all with them demonizing ICE, or with limited information? Do you think ICE is versus saying, here's a list of all of the crazy behind criminals ICE has gotten out of these cities? Do you think now, based on that ICE is making cities more safe or less safe? Less safe. Yeah, they don't even want people to know the rap sheet for all of those people that ICE is getting out of there. Because any common sense person would stop and say, yeah, get them out of here. No, they just want you to see ICE snatching the lady out of her car who didn't comply. Yeah, they just want you to see that stuff. And then they'll ask you. But let's go ahead and see them walk into a trap.
So are you willing to consider in some cases ICE has gone too far and is losing American support?
Pamela, in the last 5 weeks, we have arrested 2,500 criminal illegal aliens off of the streets of Minneapolis. If I can make my point, I appreciate your having me back.
Yeah, no one. But see, you're getting Democrats who say they don't want ICE in their cities at all, period. You're getting Democrats who are not working with ICE to allow them to come to the jails and get those two. They had to earn those 2,000 and something criminals. They had to earn it the hard way. And they had to go to where the rubber meets the road to get them, instead of just going right down to the jail cell and saying, thank you, let's take this guy away. And then when you do go in the neighborhood to get these people out of here, you got dummies trying to protect these very criminals from being arrested. The dummies are coming in with no questions asked. They ain't saying, are you getting the murderer out of there? Okay, everybody back down. This one right here is a murderer. They need to go. You think that they ask questions? No. They go in, they don't care, guns blazing. I thought this is wrong, ICE, shame. And I say no obligation to stop and say, all right, everybody calm down. This person we're going to get actually was a smuggler, a child smuggler. No, they don't do that. Democrats don't even want people to know what these people have done.
That I do want to be able to make my point. Sure. The point of the matter is, I have not seen CNN cover who some of those individuals are. An individual from Ecuador, he murdered his 3-month-old son. An individual who's perpetuating human slavery and human trafficking. Scores and scores of murders, child pedophiles. Why does the media not talk about that? We continue to see that people love to demonize law enforcement, vilify them as they're facing a 1,000% increase in assaults against them. And yet we're not talking about the great work that they're doing on the ground, the fact that they are risking their lives day in and day out to get these criminals off the ground.
Yeah, because see, that right there might mess up the plan. That right there might make people see this totally different. Folks that aren't invested in this like we are, just innocent bystanders watching the news, and you see CNN playing clips of the lady who's getting yanked out the car with no context, you might say, that's not right. They're going too heavy-handed. Yeah, but folks with common sense are going, they're getting these folks out of here. This is what we voted for. And why are these people getting arrested for nothing? No, I'm pretty sure they did something. Yeah, take that.
Yeah! Come on, Patrick. The more the merrier.
Alien hunting!
Gang members, known as suspected terrorists. These are all the people that we've arrested in Minneapolis. And DHS and Secretary Noem, President Trump, have done a phenomenal job of trying to give people transparency on who we are arresting.
And y'all have done a phenomenal job on trying to cover that up. Now you see how that works? Yeah. So while, DHS is trying to tell all the dummies out there, you guys are protecting some of the worst criminals around. Yeah, y'all are like, we don't want them to know that. We want them to think that they're all getting their neighbors out of there. Their brothers and sisters and their priests and their all of that stuff. That's what we want them to think. So let's not even bring up the rap sheet. Let's not even discuss the people that they're going to get. Let's just talk about ICE right now is terrorizing neighborhoods. They're going after your people at Brown and stuff like that.
And yet we're sitting here talking about relitigating cases over and over and over.
Well, a U.S. citizen was killed by an ICE officer.
Yes,
I talked about the polls. It's a fair question to say, are you losing American support? But Wolf, I want to let you please.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Because you know what? Your goal is, CNN, is to make ICE lose American support. That's the goal. They knew that this moment was coming. Folks who voted for Trump, knowing that he was going to deport all of these people, knew what was coming. Their whole goal is to make it look worse than it is, to make it look chaotic, sporadic, make it look like ICE ain't just focusing on getting these people. Their job is to turn sentiment away from ICE. That's what their goal is. But they're just, are you worried about the people losing No, you're working hard just overnight to try to make them use sentiment. Yeah, you're working overtime.
Attacking or killing.
No,
exactly. No one does.
There we go.
But if I may say, you all have said, really laying the feet at that ICE enforcement officer. We said
this early in the investigation.
We said that this was domestic terrorism for a reason.
Here it goes.
This individual used a deadly weapon against our ICE law enforcement officer.
Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for Blitzer to come out? Remember, just a minute ago, they said, no, it's not the media. No, come on, they're watching it. Well, let's see what Blitzer tries to do.
Sir, that is and will be charged. In any of the cases, we saw 15 of these cases over the past week alone in Minneapolis. Those will be charged as domestic terrorism.
Fake, disgusting news.
Watch this.
We said that this was domestic terrorism for a reason. This individual used a deadly weapon against our ICE law enforcement officer. That is and will be charged. In any of the cases, we saw 15 of these cases over the past week alone in Minneapolis. Those will be charged as domestic terrorism.
When she called this 37-year-old mother of 3 who was driving that car a domestic terrorist, that really was outrageous.
That really was outrageous. Wait a minute. What else do you call? So wait, when folks are using violent tactics to get a political outcome, all right, to change policies, all right, that's terrorism. I mean, what else you want to call it? Give us what we want, or we will terrorize you, harass you, run you over with our car, threaten you, intimidate you. That's terrorism. But according to Blitzer, that she wasn't a terrorist. So watch what he says she was.
As an act of domestic terrorism, in no way is that outrageous. What we saw on the ground there, she had been stalking and harassing law enforcement throughout the morning, and then she went on to use her car as a deadly weapon.
She was driving by after dropping off her little 6-year-old boy.
That's just simply not true.
Did you hear that? Did you just hear that gaslight? Neon light? That man just told us that she was just driving by to drop her 6-year-old off at school. Wow. And now remember, guys, they, in the beginning of this segment, told everybody, look, we're not, look, all you got to just watch the video. Just watch. Apparently, Blitzer didn't watch the video because his conclusion is she was just driving by to drop her kid off from school.
True, I have the facts on the ground.
Wait a minute.
And then she went on to use her car as a deadly weapon.
She was driving by after dropping off her little 6-year-old boy.
That's just simply not true.
Oh, really? And CNN has obtained some new video. Again, it's grainy and distant, but it shows 4 full minutes leading up to the shooting. It shows Renee Good's maroon Honda Pilot entering from the right there. Then 20 seconds later, someone gets out on the passenger side.
That was her wife. The one that was setting up the camera so they could, go viral, put a video out there. Or were they picking up the kid? Maybe the daycare's there. Maybe they were parking is there daycare in that neighborhood that I don't see? Because apparently Blitzer didn't see this. She was just riding by after dropping her kid off. Now, if this lady didn't check him, there would be dummies watching this, thinking that this woman was just riding by. Honey, stay in your seatbelt, stay in your car seat. Look what's going on here. This is odd. I'm just going to keep going so I can get you to school, mind my own business. What do you mean, officer? What do you mean get out the car? I didn't do nothing. Okay, I'm getting out. Bang, bang, bang. That's what Blitzer would have had you believe right there. And yet, they had the nerve to tell that lady that, oh, well, no, wait a minute. The media has nothing to do with this. I mean, these are videos everybody has seen. Well, apparently, I'm seeing something different because Blitzer just told me that this lady was just riding by, dropping her kid off to school, and then ICE just went off on her.
We don't know who or why this person leaves the car. We then see her turn and pull perpendicular across the street, seeming to block the way.
Seeming? You hear this? We don't know who. No, we know who. It was her so-called wife. We know why she got out the car, because we've seen the video, so she could get a viral moment, try to goad ICE into doing something, but she didn't expect it to go this far, because she thought they had rubber bullets or something. Probably thought they had rubber bullets. We know exactly what they were doing. Anderson Pooper.
She was driving by after dropping off a little 6-year-old boy
That's
at
just
school.
simply not.
I cannot even believe that man said that. Can you believe? Just driving by, just
But it shows 4 full minutes leading up to the shooting. We then see her turn and pull perpendicular across the street.
Well, look at that.
Seeming to block the way.
I don't want you to lie.
I explained this. I have to lie. Everybody lies. Mommy lies. Even the wonderful Jerry lies.
But you're the only one that makes me feel bad.
Yeah, CNN. My God.
She was driving by after dropping off a little 6-year-old boy
That's
at
just
school.
simply not true.
Do you ever tell anyone the truth?
Do you?
The truth?
Absolutely not. Sean Connery.
The truth?
No.
No.
My name is Sean Connery. Nice to meet you. 007's the name. I like a martini shaken, not stirred. Yeah, no. No truth whatsoever.
I have the facts on the ground. I mean, if you look at it, for the hours
More
before,
information you can release to give the public a better understanding.
if I can give you the facts of what happened that morning, at
Give it to me.
9:30 a.m. Central Time, this is where that incident occurred in Minneapolis. This individual, for hours before, had been stalking and harassing law enforcement, impeding operations. At the time of that incident, our law enforcement approached this individual's vehicle as she was blocking in our law enforcement. That is a federal crime. They asked her to get out.
Wait a minute. Maybe she was just parked there waiting for the daycare to release the kids right there for 4 minutes in the middle of the street, even though the daycare was nowhere around. But Blitzer thought she was just dropping her kid off to school.
Out of the car to stop obstructing law enforcement. You saw from the video that her partner had been walking around harassing the law enforcement officer. Our officer was in front of her. She gunned the vehicle, and that's when things turn dangerous and deadly. If you don't listen to lawful commands of federal law enforcement, if you use your vehicle as a weapon, that is absolutely an act.
1 + 1 = 2. I see the logic. I see the pattern, the train of, rationale. You stop in the middle of the street. You're harassing ICE. You've been doing it all morning. You're taunting them. Your so-called wife is recording it. They finally get tired of your shenanigans, tell you to get out the car, and you say, no. Then your so-called wife yells, drive, baby, drive, as you're pulling off, hitting the ICE agent, and then you wonder how all of those events led up to the sum of what happened right there. But Blitzer, she was just driving her car past after dropping her kids off to school.
Domestic terrorism.
Oh, what's this? Justice Department investigating Minnesota governor. And about
Look,
time.
based on their public statements, it's pretty clear that, and based on the statements of officials at DOJ, it's pretty clear there is concern that these two guys have used their positions and their public statements to try to obstruct the execution of federal laws. Now, whether that rises to a crime, I don't know.
Give me an example. Where's that clarity?
Well, I mean, I think they've both made numerous public statements that have made it perfectly clear that they do not want federal laws to be enforced in Minnesota. And they flatly said they don't want ICE there enforcing federal immigration laws. They both said that. They have literally both said, ICE, leave Minnesota. In fact, Tim Walz said we're on the 3rd day of Gettysburg at one point.
He did not say that either. Okay, sorry, but he didn't say that.
What?
Oh, really? And so I want Minnesotans to not believe that I'm telling you not to be angry, not to be scared, not to be feeling a little bit hopeless.
Now, you hear all of that? That right there doesn't make crazy people get crazier. I'm not telling you not to be scared, not to feel hope, and not to feel... Why are you trying to make Minnesotans feel like they are in danger? Why are you doing that? Yeah, I was just talking to somebody yesterday, and she said she was at work, and some lady was like, she's Puerto Rican. And she said some lady was like, I want you to be careful out there. She's like, for what? Because ICE is in Youngstown. Okay, what does that have to do with me? Because they're harassing and locking people up, and you have an accent. She said, I'm an American citizen. All right, I came here from Puerto Rico. I'm an American citizen. Yeah, but they don't care about that. See, this is where they've gotten people to. They got people brainwashed. And she had to tell the lady, like, I'm not afraid of ICE because I'm not an illegal immigrant. And just because I got an accent doesn't mean I'm going to get locked up just because she got an accent, throwing the slammer. This is where they've broken some of our American citizens. And here this guy is out here talking about I'm not telling you not to be scared, that they're harassing everybody.
This moment. But I would also say this, and I saw it last night. I saw it during George Floyd. I've seen it throughout our history. When things looked really bleak, it was Minnesota's first that held that line for the nation.
Abby didn't hear that?
On that July 3rd, 1863.
Look, 1863. That's my favorite part of his acting right there, when he did that. 1863.
And I think now we may be in that moment. When things looked really bleak, it was Minnesota's first that held that line for the nation on that July 3rd, 1863. And I think now we may be in that moment.
In fact, Tim Walz said we're on the third day of Gettysburg at one point.
He did not say that either. Okay, sorry, but he didn't say that.
Yeah, that's how we feel all the time, listening to the fake news. I feel that way every time I see them, on location when everybody's tearing up stuff and there's smoke bombs flying and firecrackers being thrown. And I want to be clear, it's mostly peaceful. Barn fires in the background. And they're just sitting there going, what you're seeing is not true. What you've seen with your eyes. And I thought that she was just simply dropping off her kid. And I'm going, wow, am I in the Twilight Zone? Is this right here X-Files? But we're going to get ready to close because, see, this is how you handle the media. They've gone too far. Now, Caroline Leavitt has to go ahead and spank them. Watch this.
We're just defending ICE agents generally. And earlier on, Secretary Nunn spoke to the media and she said, among other things, that they are doing everything correctly. 32 people died in ICE custody last year. 170 US citizens were detained by ICE. And
did you hear this man from England? This propagandist. 130-something people were killed in ICE custody. 30-something people. And then he said that 100-something American citizens were detained. Okay, so those American citizens were detained. Were they deported? You can't detain an American citizen and then clear things up and then let them go. If that's the case, every time you're detained and let go, then you got a case? You're whining? Okay, see, but you're trying to make it seem like, okay, somebody actually gets detained. That right there shows that these people are. So now, how these 30-something people die in ICE custody? That's another question. You're not going to give us the details, but this Englishman has a motive, and Caroline Leavitt is about to call it out.
Renee Good was shot in the head and killed by an ICE agent. How does that equate to them doing everything correctly?
Why was Renee Good unfortunately and tragically killed?
Are you asking me my opinion? Because an ICE agent acted recklessly and killed her unjustifiably.
Now she's about to go, she's about to go Karate Kid on him because an ICE agent acted improperly, all of that mess. Now you see that? He's supposed to be a reporter, but he went ahead and dropped his personal opinion out there.
Okay, so you're a biased reporter with a left-wing opinion.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, because you're a left-wing hack. You're not a reporter. You're posing in this room as a journalist. And it's so clear by the premise of your question. And you and the people in the media who have such biases but fake like you're a journalist, you shouldn't even be sitting in that seat. But you're pretending like you're a journalist, but you're a left-wing activist. And the question that you just raised and your answer proves...
No, don't let him off the ropes. Don't let that bum from England off the ropes. What am I supposed to... No, give it to him. Give it to him. I came here to see a fight, and I'm gonna watch one. Okay, I want it nice and bloody. I want a beat down. Finish giving it to him over there, trying to come back with a lazy. But what do you want me? No, you started this. She was minding her business.
Your bias. You should be reporting on the facts
You should be reporting on the cases. Do you have the numbers of how many American citizens were killed at the hands of illegal aliens who ICE is trying to remove from this country? I bet you don't. I bet you didn't even read up on those stories.
Ooh-wee! Tongue lashing. Right now, he's just trying to block with his hands. He's reaching for stuff. Yeah, he gets knocked out and he's in the middle of the ring still swinging while he's on the ground. That's right. Get the smelling salt out. He never saw that coming. Yeah, he thought he was going to make ICE look bad and she was going to sit back. No, she's giving him a flurry.
I bet you never even read about Laken Riley or Jocelyn Nungray or all of the innocent Americans who were killed at the hands of illegal aliens in this country. And the brave men and women of ICE are doing everything in their power to remove those heinous individuals and make our communities safer. And shame on people like you in the media who have a crooked view and have a biased view and pretend like you're a real honest journalist.
Girl, I know this might seem strange. Let me know if I'm out of order for stepping to you this way. Man, I'm loving her. I'm not trying to pressure you. Oh, man, but wait a minute. She about to make me sing again, okay? Look at this.
2 questions. First, a follow-up on one of my colleagues who asked you about the president's interview with lawyers. You said that he was joking about canceling the elections, but Americans for generations have fought and died for democracy, for this democracy. Are you saying that the president finds the idea of canceling elections funny?
And you hear that, fool? You hear that, fool? Now, see, they try to get all patriotic and stuff like that just to make Trump look bad. I thought he was joking about it, but the Americans have fought. So you're that serious? You see how disingenuous they are? You're that serious and passionate about all the Americans that fought and died for, our democracy and you think that the president, think it's funny? Think it's funny? See, this is where you lose the argument. I'm going, you're that butthurt over this. You really want to make this an issue because Trump joked about it? And what you're trying to do is make it seem like Trump really want to go ahead and suspend the elections. And now you brought this on yourself.
Were you in the room? No, you weren't. I was in the room. I heard the conversation. And only someone like you would take that so seriously and pose it as a question in that way.
There's a girl standing there made just for me. If I opened up my eyes, then maybe I would see. Man, and all I hope for in my dream tonight, she walks right through that door. That's what she's making me do. Go back to I'll be sure. Dang on it. Do you want it? Do you want it? Oh, yeah, man. Rescue me. Thank you, Caroline. I couldn't have done it better myself. That guy deserved both of that, trying to get all. And you think this was good? The president thought this was this right here feels disrespectful. Were you in the room? Well, no. There. Yeah. Only you would ask a question like that. Of course you knew the president was joking. But now we're going to finish, guys. With this dude right here. He's back. Shri Thanedar. I just timed out. I said we're going to finish with this. This guy right here, Shri Thanedar, is back, y'all. This guy, the embarrassment, if this is even... You could even get more embarrassing, but the most embarrassing person in the Democrat Party is back with another impeachment. And people might have their problem with Sean Hannity, but this moment, Sean Hannity goes off and gives Shri Thanedar a beating. How'd this guy make it to Congress? So let's go ahead and do this before we get out of here.
All right, you actually said this.
Wait a minute. I forgot to go ahead and do the announcement. Wait a minute, because this is about to be a beatdown. Hold on a second. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's main event. Even though the undercard showed Caroline Leavitt beating up a whole bunch of fake propagandists, but now, in this corner, we have Shri Thanedar. And in this corner, we have Sean Hannity. All right, both of you come to the middle of the ring. Okay? All right, shake hands. I want to see a fight to the death. Okay, ding! Here we go. Where is this going?
I could talk to you all night about the dumb stuff you say.
Oh. ICE is totally out of control.
Control?
And this week,
week?
I intend...
Now, see, I don't want to hear nothing from a man who can't say week. Yeah, you just left that W off this week. Okay? And you out here trying to impeach our president, and you can't even say this week. Good grief, this week, I don't know what a week is. So now here he is that this week.
To introduce a bill to abolish ICE. We need to make ICE go away. No. We do not need the murderers. We do not need these paramilitary organizations, members on our street.
Now, how in the world can other Democrats stand behind this dude and not be cracking up? Why would you want even your face connected and associated with this guy out there? Sounding and looking like he looks, saying what he's saying, and you don't think that's embarrassing? You don't think American citizens are going, who's this Pop-Tart? Who's this guy right now? Can barely speak the language. And he out here talking about, we want to abolish ICE, these murderers, this week. I mean, he seems nuts. And you got folks standing behind him. And I'm saying, boy, y'all stuck that dude out there. Y'all haven't put a leash on him yet?
Terrorizing U.S. citizens, terrorizing moms, terrorizing our children.
Right. U.S. citizens terrorizing moms, terrorizing our children. They're so fake. How did this guy get in? I mean, I would love to go to his district and ride around and just see the people that voted for him. Just like, wait a minute, you really voted for that dude? For real? You gotta be kidding me. Terrorizing our citizens and terrorizing people. And I'm going, that ain't even what's happening. But you're just gonna get up there and lie. Somebody said buffering. Am I buffing? No Buffy. Let me just check. Well, according to me, I'm not, no buffer. Hit the reset if I'm buffering. Okay, just in case. All right, so now let's go ahead and get to the bottom of him talking about terrorizing.
Recap, Thanedar wants to impeach Trump over the deportation of illegal immigrants, abolish immigration and customs enforcement, and to top it all off, he also voted against the bill mandating the deportation of illegal immigrants convicted of sex crimes. What? That's a bill that passed the House with bipartisan support. And despite dedicating so much time, effort, energy, publicly supporting illegal immigrants, well, Thanedar has made little to no effort ever mentioning any of the victims of criminal illegal aliens, including those Americans victimized in his own state. And anyway, here to respond, Michigan Congressman Shri Thanedar is...
Now, what made this dude think it was a good idea to come on Sean Hannity's show? Nobody in his camp told him, dude, if you go in there, you're going to get slaughtered. You do understand that? Don't set yourself up for failure. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you know, you already know as a conservative, you go on CNN or MSNBC, it's an ambush. Maybe this guy doesn't realize he got all kind of negatives. He can barely speak the language. Sean Hannity done read off his resume before the interview even started. He's already behind the 8 ball. And yet he decided, I'm going to come out here and try to go toe to toe. And it gets ugly.
Is with us. All right, just to be clear.
With that big, fat Afro wig on. What is that? Good grief. It looks like a helmet. Boy, I tell you, just put the helmet on. Like, I'm surprised he ain't got a chin strap on it with those false teeth and underbite and those thick drawn on eyebrows with all of that thing on foundation on his face. This guy right now is a walking meme.
The president's joint session speech when he honored the family of Laken Riley, murdered 24-year-old nursing student, murdered by an unvetted illegal immigrant, and honored little Jocelyn Nungary's family, brutally raped and murdered a 12-year-old girl. Did you stand? Did you give honor to that family that lost so much?
Look, Sean, thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me.
I don't need the thanks. Did you stand or not? Did you stand to honor those families?
I did not stand because the president...
You sat on your ass.
I was just sick of the president.
So I want to be clear.
I did not.
You sat on your ass, and you wouldn't stand for families of that lost children, a 12-year-old girl raped and murdered, and you couldn't stand for them because you were playing politics. Is that right? I want this audience to know.
Look, I would not stand for this president. I would not
stand for this president. See, that's the trap that they always walk into. They will let their hatred for Trump override their integrity and just common decency for other people. Trump picks stuff that is almost impossible for you to not honor. And you decide, I ain't going to honor it because of Trump. So instead, you go ahead and disrespect, folks that ain't got nothing to do with Trump. But just because Trump is highlighting this, I ain't going to. So now he got to get those false underbite teeth knocked out. Good grief, he couldn't get better dentures than that. Those bottom dentures are leaning to the left hard. I'm like, go to the dentist and straighten them up. But listen, Sean, let me tell you something to the quickie mark.
Stand for this president. He was
not
lying.
standing for
boasting.
them. You were standing for the families that lost little girls that were murdered.
Get out of here.
Illegal immigrants that you want to remain in the country. Is that true or false?
Look, this president was using a tragedy.
I'm not talking about it.
Riley's death.
What about?
Like the tragedy of this lady who just got herself shot up there in Minnesota. Unlike that, you guys aren't trying to use that. I just saw you talking about impeaching the president over it. So you're not using that? Do you see the hypocrisy? This president was using the tragedy of, and I'm going, that's what you guys do, George Floyd, and the list goes on.
Out those families. Have you ever picked up a phone? Because there are thousands of Americans that have been murdered and raped and victims of violent crime. Have you ever spoken to any? Have you ever called them to offer your condolences? Name one family. Name one family.
Look, every immigrant, everyone must follow American laws.
You can't tell me nothing when you've been here and you can barely even speak the language and you talking about impeaching our president. You can't tell me nothing, man. Well, how do these folks come from other countries, get in here, and then they join a party that really, all their policies undermine the whole fabric of our country? And I'm saying, man, y'all come from countries, you should be happy to be here and have the type of constitution that we have that makes us a better place for you to come and live. And here you come, and you're bringing policies. I'm going, just got here, can't tell, been here, nothing. You know, I don't want to, if you ain't been here, born here, like the lady in the Republican Party from Ukraine, she's able to recognize I came from a broken country, a corrupt country, and I don't want to see that over here. I'm about it when it comes down to protecting those things that make this a place that anybody from those type of countries want to come. She's legit. But then you get to the Democrat Party. They want to be inclusive, a rainbow, and then they bring in folks from other countries that have been broken, and then they try to go ahead and break what we got. And I'm saying, I don't want you, you're not the right cat to bring impeachment. Put it that way. I'm going to be honest. You're not the right dude to be bringing on impeachment and can barely speak the language. Trying to talk about the President Trump is a...
Have you ever picked up a phone and called a victim's family?
Don't give him nothing.
Look, I talk to my constituents
not a hard
all the
question.
time.
Not hard.
Yeah, I do.
Picked up your phone and called them. Have you done that one time?
Look, I talk with my constituents all the time. My constituents are being terrorized by ICE.
He's getting it. My constituents have been terrorized by ICE. Okay, how many constituents you have that are illegal immigrants? That's my question. I mean, is your district flooded with a bunch of illegal immigrants? What are you talking about? You're making this stuff up. I'm surprised that foundation ain't running off of his sweat, his face from sweating. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that wig is not shifting from the sweat because he is under pressure right now.
Have you ever called an American family that has been a victim, murdered, raped, tortured by an illegal immigrant? Yes or no, Congressman?
No, not at all.
Did you ever call them?
I have met people.
I'm sure
I have met people. I'll take that as a no. All right, you actually said this, and you know, I could talk to you all night about the dumb stuff you say.
Dumb stuff.
You voted against the bill mandating the deportation of illegal immigrants convicted of sex crimes. Can you explain that to me?
No, I can't. It's unexplainable.
Well, look, anybody who breaks U.S. laws, an immigrant that breaks U.S. laws should be deported. Anyone that commits...
Wait a minute. How are you going to find them? Anybody who breaks American law should be deported. How are you going to find them in sanctuary cities if you guys are letting them go before ICE can get to them? You're saying they should be deported, but you don't even want ICE in those cities to find them. So if it was up to you guys, they would all still be running around. Unbelievable. But let's continue, though.
That's not what you said. Sir, you voted against the bill that mandated the deportation of the illegals convicted of sex crimes. Do you regret that vote now?
No, I don't regret that word. No
Here's the
bill
towel.
is perfect.
Here's the
and
towel.
many
What
times,
if it was your wife,
the
your
bill-
sister, your daughter that was raped? That's a sex crime. You want that person to stay?
Look, there are multiple things.
There's multiple. Should I throw the towel, y'all? Or should I just wipe my forehead with it? That's what I'm going to do. I like this beating. I'm not going to let him off the hook. Yeah, I want him beat into the ground.
In a bill, I don't agree with every one of them.
Sir, you got to answer the question. If your wife, your daughter, your girlfriend, mother was raped by an illegal immigrant, you voted against the bill.
Yeah, but see, Democrats don't think like that. They never say, you know what? Let me put myself in the shoes of American citizens that are victims of this. No. Yeah, they don't even think about how would I feel if all these illegal immigrants were shoved into my neighborhood. They never think like that. It's just, let's go ahead and do stuff to everybody else, allow consequences to happen to everybody else, except for us, because we're removed from those consequences, even though we are the problem.
That would deport these illegals convicted of sex crimes. You're perfectly fine if they stay in the country.
Sean, look, I serve in Congress. I don't think you ever
That's what
served
you
in
voted
Congress.
on, though, right?
Most of the bills. Look.
Why
most
did
of
you
these
vote for
bills
that?
are not perfect
Why
bills.
did you vote
There's not
for
a-
that? Why would you allow sex crime convicts to stay in the country?
Because I don't know what the heck I was voting for and don't care. Yeah, I'm a dirty Democrat who are trying to build my profile by all these crazy impeachments. I don't really know the laws here in America. I should be laying low and be thankful that somehow I finagled my way into Congress. And instead, I'm putting all my stupidity and ignorance on display. That's what I'm doing. And embarrassing the Democrat Party more than they already are. That's what I'm doing. Now I'm on TV getting my blocks beat off, and I'm loving it. Shawnee Boy is not even letting him slide anything in. Look, Sean, wait a minute. I believe that. No. In between all of that mess, that nonsense, you're getting nothing but blows.
That entered the country illegally. Why would you vote for that?
It was not, the bill did not just include that issue. There were other things in the bill. And so I cannot pick and choose. I don't have a veto where I can strike out one portion of
So you would have
So-
voted against it. Otherwise, what was the big provision that prevented you from kicking these people out of our country?
Look, I don't memorize. I vote on thousands
I
of
don't
bills.
memorize. You don't know
but
anything.
Look, I do believe that such criminals must be deported.
That's what you believe?
There is no doubt about it.
Well, you voted against it. So obviously you don't.
Like I
got another question.
Yeah, you voted against it, so obviously you don't. You don't believe that. Yeah, so instead of just going ahead and somebody said, I almost tripped. Instead of just going ahead and dropping underneath that desk or that table and army crawling out of there right now, instead of faking some type of stroke or heart attack to get out of this, that's what he should. Because right now, by now, if I was getting beat like that, I'd take a knee. I'd be like, wait, Sean, I cannot answer the question. I'm having a heart attack. That's what I would have did. But instead, this guy is still fighting, going down. He's the guy that's standing up, knocked out, but still trying to punch. Yeah, on autopilot.
Question for
I
you.
can tell you-
In the first case
Yes.
in Minneapolis, where this woman accelerated her car at the ICE agent, that ICE agent was injured. Did you know that? Do you know what the injuries were?
Look,
Do you know what the injuries were?
That's the only source of that
Gizmo, shut up.
information is DHS, and DHS secretary lies. She lied to me on my face.
You're a kid.
Oh, now y'all hear that one? You ever heard of somebody say it like that? The DHS lied. She lied to me on my face. If you can't get our little statements right like that, lied to me to my face, Sherry. Lied to me on my face. Right off grip, I'm going, see? Yeah, you can feel, right now I'm more focused on you jacking up our statements and lied to me on my face. So she lied to him on his face, y'all.
So you're saying that the internal bleeding reports are lies. You don't believe them.
I have seen no evidence of that. It is only coming from DHS.
Well, let me ask
and
you this.
DHS
You're a lawmaker. Do you believe in the rule of law and that a person's innocent until they're proven guilty, sir?
Absolutely. But look,
then why did you call this ICE agent? Why did you call him a murderer?
Because I'm using propaganda. And I didn't see the downfall of this. I thought that I was going to come on your show and push more propaganda unabated. And I thought this might, boost my profile. I thought I could get on here with all of this baggage, my voting history and all of that, and hold my own against, a conservative commentator. And I miscalculated. He must not get a lot of offers to come on to talk, whether it be from, left-wing media or right-wing, because, the left-wing don't want to highlight a dude like this. They don't want to stick this dude out front because they're trying to protect the Democrat Party. They don't want to make their voters go, these are the type of people that represents the party I support. Nah. So I've never seen him do another interview besides this one. I've never seen him on CNN or MSNBC. And then yet he decides, I'm about to go ahead and step into the ring. All right. On Fox, the largest conservative network, against one of the most hostile guys, and for some reason, he didn't calculate this. He thought he was going to get on there and this was going to go smoothly. Boy, it went just like I imagined it would.
Because there was a 4,000-pound vehicle that was being driven right at him. Why did you call him a murderer?
Look, lots of people saw that video. America saw that video. 82%
why did you call
of Americans.
that? If you believe in due process, why did you say he's a murderer?
Look.
Well, she was. See, her last words were, "I have nothing against you, dude."
Well, last words, I have nothing against you. What does that mean? What does that mean? She said, "I have nothing against you," but yet those words mean nothing when you take off and you run into an officer. Yeah, I ain't got nothing against you except for this 2,000-pound vehicle that I'm about to hit you with. And if you don't stop me, perhaps I could have ran you over completely. But now here he is. Her last words were, I have nothing against you. What does that mean? Okay, yeah, if I got a gun on a police officer and I say, hey, man, I ain't got nothing against you, but bang. I'm not listening to your words. I'm looking at your actions. So what are you saying? Nothing.
She said in a very civil manner, this person pulled out
and then accelerated right at the officer.
Thank you. This guy right here with this wig on, it must be too tight. The wig is too tight for his brain, got him insane. Just throwing out anything, stupid stuff that don't work, that if you're smart and know what's going on in this case, easily deflected. Just throwing out stuff out there. Everybody saw the video and she thought them, I have nothing against you. None of that means anything, okay?
Clear as day. Can't miss it.
He was trying
the problem is, Congressman?
He was trying to open the door.
So he was trying to open the door, and she didn't let him. That's the problem. He was trying to open the door after she wouldn't leave, wouldn't move, pushed it to the point where he had to go and open the door. Gave her multiple commands, I think 4 times, told her, get out the car, get out the car. See, what Shri right here is missing is all of those points. Yeah, he wants you to focus on, she said, I ain't got nothing against you, dude. Yeah, that's what he wants you to focus on. Boy, he was totally unprepared for this. And yet, this is the type of dude in the Democrat Party who got the nerve to be bringing articles of impeachment. If we let somebody like this impeach our president, God, we're done. We're done for.
I'm going to tell you something. It's people like you.
Give it to him.
And your rush to judgment. And your language. And you're defending, even his own wife called him a wife beater. Grego Garcia, your buddy. It's people like you that don't care about the American people. And then you attack the brave men and women. I was scrolling all of the victims of crime, and you never lifted a phone to call one victim, one family. You call ICE agents murderers, and they're out there. They're putting their lives on the line.
It's no longer a question. Shawnee Boy's not asking questions anymore. He's making statements. Now I'm going to sum it up with telling you just how I feel about you. It ain't even, the question and answer time is over. I'm going to go ahead and close this out by saying there's people like you nasty, stinking dude, come over here. Don't care nothing about American citizens. He's caring all about himself, his profile, his job or whatever, his reputation. You don't care nothing about Americans. Okay. And for you to be a foreigner in our political system, and you don't even care about the U.S. Same thing with Ilhan Omar and pretty much all of the Democrats. But it's even worse when you come from another country and you get in here and then you're pushing mess like this that everybody can see through. This is a propagandist. This dude is a fake politician. He's doing this for show. Look at me. I brought the four articles of impeachment every other couple months. He's coming out with some more impeachments. And yet, when you flip that script and say, well, wait a minute. Have you done anything to show any support to Americans? And you're trying to impeach our president over some illegal immigrants, talking about, I've heard from my constituents and they are vetted. And I'm going, no, you haven't. Yeah, this guy right here is the worst example. But these are the people that the Democrat Party tolerates in their party.
They are arresting murderers, rapists, cartel members, drug members, known terrorists, and you have zero appreciation. And now the threat level against them is up a whopping 8,000%. And I blame people like you for that. You incite them. Well, look, or incendiary
no, don't give him no chance. I don't want to hear no. Well, look, it's too late for. Man, look. Nuh-uh. Yeah, Shiny Boy's at the point where he's pointing directly at you. People like you. Now, you know somebody wants some action when they are making sure you understand who I'm talking to. You, all right? I'm talking directly to you. And you can't ignore that. I don't know, he pointing out to, he must not, he ain't talking to me. No, I'm talking to you. I want you to know it. People like you. And I dare you to say something. Here he is. But where's Sean?
I find it nauseating. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Face.
What?
Well,
look, ICE is murdering people, murdering American citizens. They murdered an U.S. citizen, a mom with 3 children.
Why you always lying?
You know what, sir? I see a very different tape than you. I saw a guy whose life was in jeopardy and he defended himself. That's the difference between us.
Yeah, and the fact that I was born in this country and I love my country. You came from another country and you're trying to tear it down, taking advantage of our stupid voters. Who would ever vote this guy and got to be stupid? You should be embarrassing yourself, man. That dude looks like a full-blown clown, literally, with the hair, that wig, the makeup, everything. I'm going, this dude, are you in the circus? Yeah, when you came out, I should have heard those little horns on your shoes. And the background music. But that's the whole Democrat Party. They're all clowns. So God bless you. God bless America. Thanks for kicking with me today. It is Sunday. I'll be back tomorrow to talk about some more nonsense. All right. Don't forget on your way out, hit the like button, share my video, follow me on all the other platforms. My other channel finally is able to be monetized. I just got to go through the preliminaries now to set it up. So I'm going to start doing live streams there too. And I'm going to try to get back on my regular schedule. But these 12-hour shifts, man, it's going to be a tough one. But, keep an eye out for me. I'll set those notifications to all so you can catch me just in case. And last but not least, if you want to support the channel through my Cash App, my PayPal link, links are below each video. You can do that. And yeah, I think that's about it. So let's get out of here, y'all. Welcome to the Quickie Mart. Goodbye, everybody. That guy's a joke. This is all city.
Hands up, got our hands round up.
Yeah, take care. God bless.